Hey guys, welcome back to the Reality Kingdom where we put the real in reality or whatever, period.
Period.
Yeah, that's
Period.
right. Even though the weekly recaps are done, we still got some game reviews to wrap up the season with before we can finish this BB7 rewind. And today, we got a big one. We are here to talk through the games of Will and Janelle. I'm here with Drake, Josiane, and Peter to do so. How are y'all feeling tonight?
Feeling good. I've made the joke almost every time I hear to talk about the real duo of Big Brother 7. But this time, this actually is like the two people of Big Brother 7. These are the two stars of the season. So it's going to be a good night talking about it.
We got some big fish tonight. I mean, these are like the two legends of Big Brother. I mean, Janelle has played like what 4 times. Will comes back and hosts like every roundtable. I mean, these two are like staples in Big Brother history. Like they're icons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about them. I think I have my grievances for both, and I both have props to give them. The person I really want to come after isn't here right now. Her time will come. But for now, I guess Will and Janelle will be great to talk about. You're going to catch yours, Erica, very soon.
Whoa, not the
Peter's an
Erica
Erica
slander
fan,
on
by the
my
way, Josiane.
TL.
Yeah, I fear this is not Team
This is
Erica.
not an Erica safe zone.
No, not with me. Not with me.
Right. Well, we've nearly wrapped up with the season, you guys. Pretty much, we've only got the last week where it's just Erica and Boogie just in the HOH, in the Big Brother house together. So the season's essentially wrapped up. And if you guys aren't on the following one, do you want to kind of wrap up your thoughts on the season?
Ooh, am I in the following ones? I don't know. I will say that this season, well, I said it last time. I think this season, like rewatching it with a more developed mind. I don't know if it's because I hit 25. Now the brain is fully developed. I don't know, but I was really disappointed. I think this rewatch made me dislike a lot more people than I did. Like my thoughts on Kaser have diminished incredibly. Chicken George, I just after the last podcast, y'all haven't watched that one. Chicken George, you might as well. He's like worse than David to me, and that's losing a lot. I don't know. It's and the steamroll is just not enjoyable to watch. Like I think in years past, I really liked Chilltown. So like it didn't matter that much. I think, but now I just like good gameplay and like from everyone. And I just was really irritated watching this again, I think.
Yeah, I remember the season being a bit more dynamic than what it actually was on a rewatch. Yeah. And I remember my forefathers back in the day, the RHAP girlies back in 2018, 2019, used to have this season like at number 1, 2, or 3 in the rankings. Mm-hmm. And now that I've like rewatched it as an adult, I want to put it on the record that this is not a top 3 season.
Agreed.
It's just not. It's just a bit more of a steamroll than what was initially like anticipated.
Yeah, it's not a top 3 season for me. My opinion's also gone down on the rewatch, which means that no one's opinion went up, unfortunately, on season 7. But I do think out of like the first 7 seasons that we didn't do BB1, but BB6 that they covered on the Reality Kingdom, I think this is still the second best season up to this point. I only have Big Brother 6 above it. So it's probably still a top 10 season, but it's really not dynamic. But for me personally, I always like the good big personalities, and at least this has that. So.
Yeah, I think nostalgia bias kind of plays a large factor in how people view this season. I don't know. For me personally, like I said, it did seem to be more stagnant than I realized. And I don't know. It's just not, the game isn't as dynamic as All Stars would have you believe, as, BB22 would have everyone remember it as. But I will say I'm going to put a pin in it because maybe I'm being unfair because this is the first season that we've recapped with the Reality Kingdom. So as we get into more seasons, maybe I can put this season into better context, basically, is how I'm going to think about it. But we get to talk about pretty much the highlight of this season, starting with Dr. Will, the Dr. Will, roundtable host Dr. Will, the only winner who got into the BB7 house somehow. What are your thoughts on Will coming into the house as the only winner? BB2 King.
Same stats as Queen Jordan Lloyd.
I can't. Well, comparison, sorry. That comparison is crazy, but you're right. You're right. I initially, when I saw him, still find shit. Hey, Pooks. But I was like, there's no way this man's gonna last that long. Like the first time I remember watching it, so I'm going back to that. I was like, there's no way they're gonna let the Dr. Will last as long as he did. Obviously, granted, this is not my first rewatch, so I knew the results. But I think what's interesting about Will this season is that his strategy in season 2 of like being like, I don't care to be here, I don't like being here, doesn't work. Like he really has to like take it back. And so I feel like I think he thought he could come in with the same strategy and like kind of do whatever. Whereas this time I felt like he actually had to think a little bit more this time about navigating the game because these people are, I don't want to say smarter than the individuals in BB2, but they know his game now. So I think he did improve certain things that he didn't, but I also think that he's a little bit more emotional than I thought he would be, but we can get into that later.
And he's more bold this season. I mean, he has more street cred. He comes in as a winner. He has the ability to just, go balls to the wall because even if he does flop, he has, his reputation as a winner and being the only winner on this cast. And that's something that he should be proud of because he almost became a 2-time winner.
Yeah.
Almost.
Before we move on, Cass, can I change the overlay? I just realized the Big Brother logo was like blocking Peter. You can't.
I don't know how do you move
I think.
that?
I think I figured it out. Okay, look,
thank you. I didn't know how to do that.
I was like, Peter's
in jail, bro.
He's no longer Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, he's no longer Mike Boogie, they might say. But so Will, I love Dr. Will. Let me just say, I have always loved Dr. Will. He came in here with house money. It's like he went to the casino, doubled up his money. He's like, well, fuck it, we ball. Okay, I'm gonna come to this season and just do whatever I can to get my boy Mike Boogie a win. He did not give a fuck about this show, but he really did care. Like when we get down into it, I think he did. I think once they got farther, he did want to win, but he had the attitude of that he didn't want to win. So I don't know how to explain it. He just like I think he's just a gamer at the end of the day. I don't know if he would admit it, but I do think he likes these type of shows. I think he likes playing games. So I think he just came in here with this attitude of if I win, I win, but I'd rather Mike Boogie win. And he should be dead on arrival. Not only is he the only winner. At this point, like I know people don't respect his BB2 game as much now compared to people like Nicole or Danielle Reyes, but at this point in Big Brother history, he's viewed as the mastermind. So he should be dead on arrival. Like he should be the first boot, the easiest house target I've ever seen, a built-in alliance to start the game. But he's just not. He's just not the house target.
I think he benefits from the fact that season 6 is so large in numbers.
Yeah.
That he gets kind of and so he gets to kind of lower his target a little bit. Like, had it not been that many people in season 6, I think he would have been dead on arrival. I think he benefits from the cast itself in a meta way.
I think the whole I want Boogie to win the game mindset is just kind of a self-defense mechanism to protect this ego as the mastermind player. I think he came into the game wanting to come in, and he's kind of using this as a front in case he does bad. And I don't think he needed it, but it's interesting he does, because he comes into the game with a basically locked final 2 in Mike Boogie, who's never going to betray him because, he's in love with that man. And as we will establish next time. But yeah, I think one of the I don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. I think that kind of gameplay and social game, like that creative kind of social game, is important when you have a threat level as big as Will does. Do you think that's what it was? Because it works so well because of this. Everyone's like, okay, well, we don't need to get rid of Will. Although, because like everyone sees through it. They say, well, you so obviously want to be here. But it's like, you just hear it enough times and all of a sudden Will can go later. It's bizarre.
Yeah. I also think it depends on the type of player. Like he has such charisma and charm about him where he could pull this off. Where I think if like Howie was doing this, people would be like, okay, he can leave.
To be fair, though, there was a week where they were considering voting him out when he was on the block after his speech. Like, we saw it where Chicken George was like, do you want me to actually vote for you to say, like, I don't understand. You just did that big cool plus speech, whatever. And I think people were on the fence about Will in that moment because he's saying he doesn't want to be here. I'm going to be so for real. In a game where maybe it's everyone's first time, I could have more leniency and being like, okay, you can stay here because you clearly don't want to fight for this one like I do. But in a game of second chances, I think it's different because like people know who you are now. People probably have relationships with you. People are more invested in you. So I think an attitude like that doesn't actually I think he benefits again to your point about with his charm, but I don't think it worked as well as it did the first time, to be honest.
Fair enough. So let's start with week 1, right? So Janelle and Jace win the first HOH together. Will is kind of off both their radar because Danielle and Allison cause a big stink, if we will. Although Boogie in particular is adamant about voting a certain way, he wants to keep Allison in the game as a way to balance Janelle's threat level. Will is largely unbothered. He says he kind of just stays out of the goings on for the week. He's just kind of willing to vote however Boogie wants him to. And you know what? Allison leaves. Probably the right call for Will. I don't know. I don't think it really matters for him. He does pick up Danielle later in the season. I don't know if he would have done the same with Allison. Talk to me. If you were Will, how would your week 1 performance go?
Yeah, I mean, weren't Allison and Danielle both on the block? And him and Danielle were extensively together in like the pregame, right? Because he was pregaming with James and James was pregaming with Danielle. So Will kind of had a connection there, but he didn't really do much pregaming with Allison. So it's kind of just like a bye week.
I forgot about that. That was pre-gamed. But I think Will and Boogie never really took James's pre-gaming seriously like James did, because they're actually targeting James for the majority of week 1. James or Janelle. One of them's got to go because BB6 is so strong. I think James is just in a false sense of security because he thinks that what he pre-gamed is the reality.
Yeah. Ultimately, I feel like if Allison stays and Danielle goes, I kind of feel like Allison just takes up Danielle's spot probably for the season. But
I agree.
He's more messy, but I feel like they use Allison as like this person to eventually take out season 6.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think
Allison and Erica would not work together.
Well,
Danielle and
Erica's so weak.
Oh,
she would go wherever the wind takes her. I just say.
Oh,
she almost makes up with Allison in week 1.
That's the runner-up right there, Cass. That is the runner-up.
Yeah, she was always going to be runner-up because she was never going to win.
All-star runner-up.
Anyways, but I think my thing about Allison is because I don't know how I feel like they'll play together because I don't know what role she was going to take. Like we get that like video from like her boyfriend and her ex. That like, do you guys remember that where the boyfriend's like, oh, Allison wouldn't be that way anymore. Like she wouldn't do that. Yeah. But like, I don't actually know that for a fact because we didn't see it week 1. So I'm like, if she was gonna flirt with someone, it probably would have been Will. If we're being real, and that probably would have caused chaos between Janelle, Will, and Allison in a world already like that, especially since Janelle did put her on the block. Danielle does this thing where she's able to kind of like, I don't want to say forgive and forget Janelle, but I think she puts it aside for a moment. And I don't think Allison has that in her. I don't think that's her personality. And so I don't think Janelle, Allison, and Will mesh well together in comparison to like if Danielle's in the mix. So I don't know if she really takes up the spot of Danielle. And I think James's relationship with Danielle is very beautiful. I don't think that would be matched with Allison. So I think it's a different game, but I don't think Will needs her. Whereas like Danielle was a great player and Will saw that and he was threatened by that, but he also used that to his advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he waited to see what the playing field was going to be.
Yeah.
And then adjusted his play style accordingly. Okay, so we move on to week 2. Kaser wins HOH. And
what up, Kaser?
What up, Kaser? And the whole house is basically like, why don't you put up Chilltown? That's kind of what's expected of them, as the other solidified side of the house, and then all the floaters are in between. But Kaser thinks, I've got this genius plan. I'm going to make a deal with Will and Boogie, who obviously accept. I'm going to make a safety deal with them for only 1 measly week, mind you. And instead, I'm going to nominate Diane and Nokomis, because then for the rest of the floaters, it will send a signal that Chilltown must have made some deal with us. Now, we've established many times that this deal makes very little logical sense. But what do you think it is about Chilltown that made Kaser want to make this deal with them?
I was going to say something really mean.
Go say it.
It's too late now.
I don't want to. Okay, you guys, I still think Kaser is fine shit. Like, I still think he's cute. I think he had his iconic moments in season 6. Like, I'm not going to take that away from him. But I think he was really cowardly, his HOH, to be real with you. Like, I didn't get to talk about his HOH, but literally all of week 1, Chilltown is talking about Kaser's arrogance and like dogging him and saying that they're going to go after him. And it seems like it's reciprocated and that he is kind of in the know that that's the way they're feeling. So when he won HOH, the fact that he didn't put them up to me felt very cowardly, because why the heck do you have to make a deal with Chilltown? Why do you have to go after 2 people who were outside of the vote? Like, they're not actually threats to you directly. You have already built in big alliance. And instead of going after Chilltown, who is a force by their charm, whatever you want to say about them, like, they're still a force, and you go after these 2 women. I thought it was so lame. I don't know what it is about Chilltown, to be honest, because it's not like they flirted with Kaysar and he was open to it. If anything, I think it was a flaw of his than anything than Chilltown. Maybe they intimidated him, but that makes no sense because
he did approach them.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, like, I feel like I think it was cowardly. I think maybe he thought they're big targets, but it's like, you are the bigger target. They're not going to come after Chilltown before they come to you. So I just think the whole thing was just dumb as hell.
Yeah, it's just bad gameplay. It's the same shit James be trying to do, where he decides he wants to play the middle because both of them are anticipating that the Sovereign 6 alliance is going to blow up, and then they want to have like a follow-up plan. And so they're trying to make deals with Chilltown in case Sovereign 6 blows up and they can have their asses covered. And because they're not going against the actual targets in the house like Will, Boogie, Danielle, they're just ending up taking out floaters, and that's why the entire alliance like implodes the way it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only people who could like pull this type of stuff off are people like a Derek or like an Andy or Chelsea. Like, people who are truly running the house, they're able to take away a floater or someone who's not well connected. It's like they truly are connected with everybody. Season 6, you are connected to only season 6, so you might as well go for like the big dogs in the game that could really ruin your position.
Right, I agree. So let's get into this. So I have this picture of Will and Howie. Basically, for the first few weeks, Will and Boogie just kind of toy with Howie a little bit. It seems like he's kind of the first member of Chilltown they try to induct. However, it's never really viewed seriously by Howie. He rats this information out to Janelle almost immediately. I just think it's a lack of respecting with Howie that they just like toying with him. But maybe it's their way of trying to stay safe with BB6. I don't know. I just thought I should mention it. It doesn't really lead anywhere. No comment? Oh,
I mean, no, to your point, it felt like a humiliation ritual, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Like, back, I was like, do you have a kink for this, Howie? Like, I just, like, for me personally, if a man tries to bring me down, I'm not really interested in like having a friendship or continuing it. And I feel like Howie felt like he was going like bang for band. Like, no, brother, like you weren't. It's like a rat.
I thought he was in on the joke.
It's like a rat playing with Usain Bolt at a race. Like, to me, it makes no fucking sense. Like, how's that math work? And I don't know if it's because he's like delusional. Like, I don't really know how he is, but it was so humiliating. Like, watching it, I was like, this is what you stand for. Like,
yeah, I ain't seen you buck up to a man yet. Like,
I ain't seen you buck up to a man yet.
Right.
They're in the backyard calling him fat. They're calling him the R slur. Like, it's real nasty. Real nasty.
Like, it's so gross. It's dehumanizing. It's so weird.
Yeah, well, maybe all of season 6 just has a humiliation kink, and that explains the entire pre-jury phase of this show. Because
okay,
well,
it worked. So on Case's birthday, everyone gets really drunk. Will and Boogie, sorry, are basically kind of responsible for keeping together the floaters around Chilltown to try and get some opposition to BB6. They get George, Diane, Erica through Boogie, and Jace. They're all kind of solidifying as a group, kind of under Chilltown's direction, which makes even less sense why BB6 would keep Chilltown safe again and again. So on Boogie's birthday, everyone gets really drunk, including Will. And they even just start to mock BB6 kind of. I don't know, it's because Erica has won the veto at this point, so they know they're in no real danger. But Will even challenges Kaiser to nominate him before the veto ceremony just to mess with him. And he knows that Kaiser won't because Kaiser's going to overthink this too much and think Will's trying to play some mind games and he's going to do what he would have done anyway. This thing with Will is that is this to mitigate his threat level, or do you think he just gets carried away and likes playing too much? Because sometimes I don't know where to define the balance.
Baby, Will is just trolling. He knows he has no horse in this race because at this point in the game, I just don't think he's taking it seriously yet. I think we'll identify the point in which he flips and goes into like serious mode. But right now, he's kind of just like, baby, I'm here to help Boogie. I'm going to troll Kaiser a bit. I'm here to have some fun. At least that's what it was from my POV.
Yeah, because at some point he does switch and become like a more serious game player. He's always active, but I think at some point he starts taking it more serious. I do wonder if he also thought he was probably dead to rights to come in here, but after like 2 or 3 weeks, he's like, I could actually like run this shit. He started to realize he could really run this season. But I think he gets bored. I genuinely think it's like how Dan sometimes in Big Brother, they get so bored. Like, what plan can I cook up today? Like, what can I do to most of these people? Like, some players do this. And it would probably be, unfortunately, I would definitely do that.
I genuinely think he's an asshole, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that he's a bad winner or that he's a bad person, but I think he's a bit of an asshole. And I think he got up there. He wanted a big dick competition. Like, who has the biggest dick right now? Dragged Kaiser down there, tried to do his big one. Like, I think Will has an ego. He does. It's so clear. And as day, like, he is egotistical. He's a bit of an asshole. So I think the thing is, I think that Will benefits from being attractive and being charming. So he gets to go around and act this way, and it doesn't have the huge consequences. Whereas, like, let's say Howie acted exactly the way Will did in the game, like, he would have been out. Chicken George acting this way, he would have been out. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Will just gets that benefit, and it's pretty privileged. He is the example. I've said this anytime I've podcasted about Big Brother in general. There is an element to pretty privilege in the game, and Will benefits from it. He might have been the first. I just might have been the first.
He's definitely got it
to weaponize pretty privilege. Hey, trademark it, King. Like, you did your big one, but I think he's a bit of an asshole, and I don't think that was game. I think that was like, I think he didn't like Kaiser. He made it very abundantly clear first episode that he didn't fuck with him. So I think that wasn't game, to be honest.
Yeah, and this was also around the time that Kaiser and Will were having arguments. I believe Kaiser was saying like Will wasn't a real doctor because Kaiser had disagreements about Will doing like plastic surgery on people.
Oh, yes.
And so they were like really beefing out at the time.
Yeah, that would hurt his pride, certainly.
Because isn't he like one of the most successful plastic surgeon doctors? Or am I making that up? Like,
that's what he mainly does, I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure he was in a couple magazines at the time.
I mean, he did go to school and everything. I mean, he is an official doctor, but yeah, that's mostly what I see. Yeah. But just to wrap up the week, I will say that although he is toying and having his fun, he is actually locked in this week slightly. He's like steadfast. Nokomis definitely has to go. We're keeping Diane to make sure BB6 doesn't get too powerful. He solidifies the votes. He gets everyone on board. Diane stays. Nokomis goes home. Moving on to week 3.
And Boogie was trying to fuck Diane. So
he was.
Oh my God.
He was already dating Erica.
Erica, do you not feel embarrassed? Like, do you not feel embarrassed? This man talking about how he wants to fuck Diane up, down, left, right, center, whatever. And you're talking about having babies with him? Baby,
he was talking about this with Diane, and him and Erica had been dating for 6 months before the season.
Diane's one of my first Big Brother crushes, so Boogie, that's real. Like, that is very real.
Hey, at least Erica can buy herself.
I'm not going to say that. Sorry, Peter, were you saying something?
I said at least Erica can buy herself some class.
What with the 50K runner-up prize?
Right. And I'm curious. I think, anyways, let me not take that.
Okay, so moving on to week 3. This is something I need you guys to talk to me about because I don't know if I like this. James wins HOH. James has the incredible target of Chicken George. And to do that, he wants to put Will up as a nomination because Will is so freely being like, I don't want to be here. I don't care. And because no one's willing to send someone like that home, Will pretty much just agrees to being the pawn. And up he goes up beside Chicken George. Now, Will, I hate this. I don't care who you are. I know that you probably do have the play capabilities to pull this off, but even so, there are so many things that you don't that are uncontrollable in the Big Brother house. You could be playing with a secret mastermind that's going to take advantage of this. I feel like you're lucky that the house is a little slow, but like this could have worked out tremendously bad for you.
Yeah, well, I think this is the week Will really decides to lock in. Right? I think after he survives this week, he's like, oh, like I have a chance. Like he's still gonna be like this like asshole version of himself, and it's like very cocky personality. But I think this is when he's like, oh, I could actually run the game. After he survives this, because I think he did not care if he get evicted this week. Obviously, he cared a little bit towards the end of it.
Jury, isn't it?
He did not want to be in jury. So I think once he realized like, oh, I'm here in jury, like I'm locked in, I might as well make it to the end. Because I think he was trying to get a little bit. He was wanting to be evicted pre-jury because he didn't want to be in the jury house. And once he was already like a jury member, he's like, I gotta win this shit.
Yeah, I really hate people who say, put me up on the block. I think that shit's so dumb. Like, I really do. Like, if you're in the game, there is no reason or justification as to why you would volunteer to go up on the block unless you actually want to go home. But I think it's lame. Like, you're on, mind you, if you didn't want to be here, you didn't have to come on the show. Like, you didn't actually have to. Like, that's what I'm saying. All Stars, where people really want to be there and you're taking up a spot, you don't do your homework or you don't care to be there. For me personally, it annoys the heck out of me because, like, imagine playing this game that you love, right? Like, let's like take a moment. Imagine you get casted on this show. Let's say this is your dream, and something bad happens. You get blindsided, or you trust the wrong people, or whatever. And then you think, I'm done. I won't be able to play this game that I love so much again and actually do justice. And then you get a call to say that you have a chance to relive your dream a second time. It would piss me off that Will gets on the show and he doesn't care to be there for that long. Like, that would really piss me off. Like, on a someone's dream level, that shit irritates me. So I think it's really annoying that he offers himself as a volunteer. And quite frankly, if people were really smart, if the cast was really locked in, they would have voted his ass week 3.
Yeah, I agree. Because we can't like call out James for doing this and then say it's okay when Will does this. You know, like I know that James is a much sloppier player, but I feel like if I'm being fair and objective here, then I can't approve of this either.
Yeah, I think it's never okay with being a pawn. I know, like, even now, like, we're probably gonna see this on PB28. Someone's like, "Well, Blockbuster, I gotta go on the pawn and beat them in Blockbuster."
Yeah,
you don't gotta do it. If they win, they win it. If they lose it, they send a vote. Okay, just make sure it's not you. But like, at least it's not. At least he doesn't keep acting like this after this week. But I do agree. Like, it is. If you would have kept like this the whole season, kind of like how Tyler does on 22, he's like, "I really want to be here. I really don't care about this show." Then it gets annoying. But eventually, he locks in. So good for him. But it is wild he goes home next to Jace, who, like, with all respect to Jace, is maybe one of the worst two-time players ever. So it's like, how are you going home? How are you sending Jace home next to Will?
Yeah, I don't like it when someone volunteers to be on the block in terms of like quitting, but I think it's kind of cunty when someone is like, hey, like put me up on the block. I'm gonna win the Blockbuster and then win EduH and send your ass home.
It's like not
Tucker was doing it with like Cedric. You know, I kind of like it like that.
And then you know what?
Not the way Will's doing it.
Oh my god, you
don't like Cedric? What?
No, it's not that I don't like Cedric. It's just that I remember he got blindsided. Did he not?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like the worst thing you can do in this game is be fucking comfortable. Like, anytime someone is comfortable, I think it's the start of their demise. Because people can actually also catch on to the fact that people feel comfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, if we're playing a game and I see Cass and Cass is just chilling, he don't care. I'm like, oh, you don't care that much, brother? Get on my block. Like, hello, like that's so crazy.
I know. Well, I don't know. It's really hard to analyze Will, especially because he's such a liar. But like, he does seem to really grind into gear for the rest of the week, which I can appreciate because I know we've talked about it before, but it's George wins the veto, another replacement has to go up. And because James is really considering Boogie, him and Boogie have to come up with a different plan. So what they do is that they Jace is the other option. BB, the rest of BB6 are trying to push Jace because Jace has done a bad job of playing both sides. They know that Jace is really a member of Chilltown. But what Will and Boogie do is that they tell Jace to pick a fight with Marcellus. in order to get Marcellus on the block. Now, they claim that they would have also been fine with Marcellus getting on the block, but what this essentially does is that it makes Marcellus angry with Jace. It also makes Marcellus's allies, such as Erica, angry with Jace, and it gives BB6 more of a reason to put Jace up on the block so they can get rid of him. Jace goes up next to Will, Jace goes home. So it's okay, it's good because essentially Jace will have the votes over Will. However, I don't know. Marcellus going up would have been great, you guys.
Yeah, I think it would have been great, but I think also sometimes you can recognize like
what's possible.
What is possible. Like, is Marcellus the best case scenario for Dr. Will and Boogie this week? Yeah, but it's like if I can get Jace and Jace goes, I'll just do Jace. That's the easiest opportunity to do it.
Why did Jace decide to like fight Marcellus? Like, why did he?
Because Jace thought if I fight with Marcellus, then other people will get annoyed with Marcellus, and it will be easier to put Marcellus up on the block. When really they set Jace up to fail. Yeah.
And that's my issue. A lot of the guys here think that their shit don't stink. Like, I know this is not about Jace, but like that, I don't see how I could sit there and someone tell me, by the way, I have an argument with this person in this way. Marcellus has nothing to do with the plot, like genuinely. So like I just thought that whole thing was so lame, the fact that he fell for it. And then for Will to do his big ass speech, mind you, and then Jace to follow up and say, yeah, same vibe, same shit. What? You are not the same. You are not the same. You're not in the same position. Like, I just thought that thing was so lame. And like, I genuinely think James should have just put up Boogie. But alas, I could talk about how every week they should have just put up Mike and Will and Boogie. And that's what I have to give credit to Will, because the fact that he is the only winner and he sits beside Jace, mind you, Jace is not that great. Hey, sue me. And the fact that he says 9-0, kind of crazy.
Yeah. And this is the only time he's nominated until he gets evicted. Like, that's insane. And he is smiling in his face right there. There's pure joy in Will's face looking at Jason next to him on the block.
I know. Like, he knows he's done for. But just to wrap out the week, yeah. But also one thing is like people know that Jace can win comps. Will throw countless comps. Also, if he doesn't throw, is he even that strong at comps? Like, no,
he's actually bad at comps.
Right.
This whole throwing thing, like I know people say, "Oh, Dr. Will throws comps." He is terrible at comps. No, at least on Big Brother 2, he tries to win comps. He just sucks.
There are a few that I think he tries to win on this one, and we'll get to them. But just to but unfortunately, he doesn't account for the fact that the people like Danielle or Diane are obviously going to want to keep Jace, because if you're just going to stay here, throw every competition, not do anything, then we'd rather keep Jace as a tool to go after BB6. But once Boogie catches wind of this, he tells Will, no, you've got to lock in, you've got to start campaigning a little bit. And Will says, no, this is kind of a front. I am actually here to play. I'm willing to play if you keep me. And he gets people like Danielle back on board, and he stays unanimously, doesn't he?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next to Jace.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
It's like maybe if it was someone different, but Jace, the only pre-jurors on the season, you stay next to.
It's funny. All right, moving into week 4. So although I didn't really touch on it, Will has spent pretty much the entirety of week 3 flirting with Janelle. Like, they've had a bit of a frosty relationship up to this point, but he's really gone into high gear trying to get her under his spell. Reasons why: is it purely strategic? Is it because he genuinely likes her? I guess we'll have the rest of his game to think about that. But it really pays off when Janelle wins the next HOH, because feeling like a huge target, Janelle wants to make Chilltown a parachute alliance for her. She tells Will that she'll nominate Boogie, but only as a decoy to the rest of the house, and she wants to throw veto to Will to take him off. He realizes that he needs to be the one to get into Janelle's last ear to secure these nominations. I'm surprised that this works so well. I think Janelle was just already paranoid, but Will being there to be the right push for her to go in this direction, I think is really good work.
Yeah. It is a weird thing. I know Lee and like Pharaoh talked about this a lot, where it's like, who does a relationship really benefit? Because it only really benefits one person, and it benefits Janelle a lot more than it does Will. But I think in these early weeks, it kind of does benefit Will, specifically how much Janelle wins comps. But I think he is in love with Janelle. I think,
really?
I think he's married to the person he was dating at the time.
Erin. Shout out Erin.
Yeah. But I think, look, it's Janelle. So like, I get it. I think he was just down bad for Janelle, and we have about 70 days of him being completely down bad for Janelle, trying to protect her. I also think he he's playing for him or Will, but him or Boogie. But I think it comes down to the point where it's like, if we're gonna lose, I rather one of like the other all stars really win. And I think he sees Janelle like that.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought his relationship with Janelle, I mean, I know it was like hints of romanticism, but I always viewed it as like, I thought Will viewed it more platonically and Janelle viewed it more romantically, at least like in my mind. Because weren't Boogie and Erica like fucking? And
Yeah,
Will and Janelle, they weren't doing
the window
Will
to the wall.
Well, Will and Janelle were in separate relationships, so they were cheating in the house. So that's probably why they were less explicit. But also, it's just Will just takes Janelle so far into the game as someone that isn't as, I want to say, Erica as he thinks she is. So Janelle does wisen up later down the line, as we will see. But it's just interesting that if you were Will, how far would you plan on taking Janelle?
I wouldn't plan on taking her. I would plan on her taking me. Like, why do I have to take Janelle?
If you had the opportune, if you got to decide when she left, if it was all up to me, what would you choose?
The thing is that
third.
I don't think that. I think because the moment Janelle starts winning too many competitions, like they kept her in so long that she won like veto after veto after veto after veto. Like after like jury started, she should have been out. No offense. Like they're towards the end of the game, especially, it's so comp heavy that I would just never allow it. And I don't think Will really needed Janelle that much. Like, to be honest with you, because he had Danielle and James, he had Boogie, who had Erica, and she thought she was a part of Chilltown.
And they had George.
And they had George. And don't get me started on George. Like, did he actually need Janelle? No. Like, you could argue maybe after Howie, Janelle could go. Even before Howie, but then I think Howie gets pissed. But Howie doesn't win shit, so like, does it matter?
In their defense, like in his defense, though he talks about feeds, she thinks he was always going to take Janelle far. But there's only 3 rounds in this game where she doesn't have some type of immunity from HOH or veto, and it's week 2 and 3.
Wait, sorry, go.
The only weeks she doesn't have immunity are 2 and 3 when James and Kaser are HOH, and then the Chicken George double. That's the only like when Chicken George.
She had a week where
counter that they throw Janelle those vetoes.
They do throw the vetoes to her.
Do we know that Janelle would have won all those vetoes if Chilltown weren't in there helping her win them?
And to be fair, who was gonna beat her though?
Yeah, for real.
Danielle probably could have beat her.
And why not let Janelle drag Will all the way to the end? I mean, he would beat her in a jury vote. So
that's true.
I don't see why it would be any issue at all for her to drag him all the way to the end. I think if he would have went through all the way with the relationship with Janelle, like if they would have been fucking like the same way Erica and Boogie were, and he actually would have went through with it, I think he could have won.
I also think what's interesting is that this relationship with Janelle is really kind of what separates Will from Boogie, because Boogie does not have this connection to Janelle that Will does. I mean, Boogie throughout the season, as I've read, seems to be the one closer to Danielle, the one closer to James, the one closer to Erica, obviously. So although Will does advise Boogie to do a lot of the things he does, this is something that Will can have for himself, and especially like a really powerful player like Janelle, that's always handy. And like you said, Peter, if he beats her in a jury vote and she'll always take him, as she claims, will she? I don't know. What's the harm?
Yeah, I think his ideal final 3 was Janelle and Boogie. They both take him, and he beats both of them most likely. So.
Speaking of which, I did mention some competitions. This veto, which Janelle and Boogie had planned for Will to win, I do think Will was trying to win this one. And then because the mistake he goes out on is something like a mistake that you would make if you weren't trying to throw and actually trying to win. So I thought that was interesting. But when Boogie does win the veto, the rest of the house are anxious. They push really hard for him to take Boogie's place. However, Will does work his magic. The idea of nominating Diane is just too tempting for Janelle. And with Will's pushing, she takes it, wanting to work with Boogie and Will moving forward. And then Will, Boogie, and Danielle use this to fan the flames on the opposite side of the house with James. They get him to flip over and join an opposing alliance to target Janelle. This essentially puts Will in the exact middle of the house. Although some people find him untrustworthy, there are just bigger targets that need to be taken care of for now. Will votes with the house to get rid of Diane for that week. I think this is one of the greatest weeks played this season from an individual player.
Yeah.
This is great.
Because
he's got another alliance.
Like the ability to somehow be the one to push Diane and James be more mad at season 6 than him. So now James is locked in with them. And like we talked about this in the James and Danielle reviews, they are like really loyal to that alliance. Like they were gonna go to the final 4 with this alliance. Yeah. And people are going to target level level 6, season 6. The floaters are gonna target them. Like they are perfectly in the middle. No one's going after them now, except for maybe Marcellus.
My thought on that is that basically I think James gets more mad at season 6, and rightfully so, because that's who should have put up Will. Like, especially seeing week 2 and week 3 when he was HOH and the shit they put him on. I can't see him getting mad at Will more than Janelle, because Janelle's the one who ultimately makes the decision. You get what I'm saying? So, you can't really get mad at Will for pushing something when he is the other option to be on the block. Like, that's like me hating a player for playing his game and wanting to save his own skin. So, like, I think, to your point, I think this is a great week for Will because he gets to really position himself in the middle, even though I feel like he's kind of always been, to be real. They made it seem like it was Chilltown in season 6, but after week 2, we know that Chilltown is in the middle. Like, we know that for a fact, but this is the first time where it's like, now it feels like everyone needs Chilltown to execute what they want to do.
Exactly. Before it was like they are in the middle, but everyone's kind of saying, "Oh, we could target Chilltown," and now it's like, "No, we're not targeting Chilltown at all." Like they're not really even being named in conversations anymore because both sides think they need them.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Are we on to week 5? This is still week 4. All right. Next slide. So we move on to week 5. With Janelle as HOH, Will is definitely safe. He's still in the middle of the game, being aligned with pretty much everyone besides Marcellus. He is aware of Danielle's plan to target Janelle and to use James as a decoy to do so, as he's part of the Legion of Doom. Will throws the week 5 veto. He gets a bunch of prizes, including $5,000. He's very happy when Janelle wins the veto, and he blames all his prizes on Marcellus getting them, and he joins the crusade to get Marcellus nominated, but he is he's just unsuccessful, rather. What do you think? Do you think there was anything Will could have done to make sure Marcellus was nominated this week? Or do you think...
No.
By the time Marcellus and Danielle repaired their relationship, I don't think there's anything that they can do.
I think Kate is a great target anyway.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that had it been in any other person as HOH, Marcellus could have easily gone home this week. Absolutely. But it turns out that it's Danielle and like the history of Marcellus and Danielle, the repairing and the things like that. What my criticism of Will this week to me is the way he threw the veto. Like, it's unfortunate that I felt at that point, everyone felt like they needed him. But for me personally, if I knew that my allies weren't doing shit to get this veto, even though we're supposed to be like this, we're supposed to be in lockstep, I have to take 24 hours of solitary confinement, I'd be pissed off. Like, I'd be pissed off. And that, to me, I felt like he showed his whole ass in a way that just wasn't necessary. Like, it's great that they got to pin it on Marcel and it wasn't like an end point. But there could have easily just been a conversation with Marcellus where he would have said, "Hey, what'd you get?" And Marcellus would feel no need to lie about it. So, like, his ass would have been clocked regardless. Like, I don't know. I just thought the whole thing was really weird.
Yeah, it just kind of reiterates the point that Will is just really an asshole, and he's going to do whatever he can to just make somebody's life a living hell. And I think that he does it in like a different way, like than Howie does, where Howie kind of does it in more of an immature way. But Will, when he's going after somebody, it's going to be a little bit more calculated, and he really just knows how to like pin at somebody and really make them go off. So yeah, he's just an asshole through and through.
Yeah.
And I just don't think logically in my mind this was the right way to throw the competition, because it's not guaranteed that Janelle's getting all of the bad choices. Like, it's not guaranteed. You're increasing her odds by you not participating. But if I was him, I would try to get the ones, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a better way of throwing it where it's like, you know that you've taken up most of the points and then you just stop and then you sacrifice your points at the end. Like that. I felt like there's smarter ways to go about that than the way he did, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like this is the type of thing you can only pull off on like as a returning player, like on a returning season, because it's like you could be like, "Oh, I'm just playing into the TV shtick of it all. I'm playing into my personality, who my character is." Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people view Will as, like, "Oh, he's just playing as the villain. He's probably in the diary room doing this, laughing about it." Or I don't think people fully take him doing all this so serious, and I think that's like the type of benefit you have on returning player seasons.
And that's just, you can chuck it up to the social game he's been doing with the whole persona of not wanting to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so to wrap up this week, with Kesa and James on the block, Will does toy the idea of voting James out a lot. Boogie has the ultimate say and gestures to Will during the live show that they are evicting Kesa to keep up appearances and continue to play the middle easier with the Legion of Doom. In my opinion, this is the obvious correct choice, and this is an example of Will just being too cute and playing for the sake of playing and backstabbing people for fun. I know. Wait, this is the last week of what? Pre-jury, so you're going into the jury at this point, and I think Boogie is the more grounded one in this situation. I don't know why you wouldn't just evict Kesa here, because then Danielle knows that you're fucking with her.
He almost fucked up.
Part of me I think it's just that he doesn't really care, and I just think he doesn't like James. He's never liked James. I think on a personal level, he just wants James gone over Kaser.
He don't like Kaser either, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to call him evil, but like, well, I was gonna say evil spirited, but the fact that Will just simply does not care to like crush people's dreams. I mean, he said it, circuitry wires. He said it. Yeah. Like, I'm not surprised, but I was like, this to me was if they would have gone through with it, it would have been such a dumb move.
Bad move.
Danielle's not one to be fucked with. Like, if there's anyone going to screw over, it's not Danielle. Because the following week, obviously we know like Erica hypothetically wins, but then it gets taken off, whatever. If I was Danielle after that week, I'm spilling my guts and it's over. Like, it's actually over. You're done.
Especially because they just robbed her of a phone call from home and made her go into solitary confinement for 24 hours. And now you're going to screw her over with this vote when you just made this alliance the week before. Like, this is way too premature to be blowing up your game like this, I think.
Yeah. He kind of plays how I play Clock Tower, where sometimes you sit there and be like, what's the funniest thing I could do right now? And that's kind of just how he plays the game.
With playing Clock Tower, you don't win 750k, you know?
Yeah.
Well, 500k.
Yeah, to him, that's nothing because he's already rich.
And at this point in the game, Erica and Kaser are close, and Will's trying to get his boy some pussy, so he's trying to get Kaser the fuck out of here because, you know, they're trying to run a fraternity up in here. Ciao.
Okay. We move into week 6. When Janelle wins the HOH, Will gets to strategizing in order to save Danielle. He wants to keep Danielle and Janelle targeting each other as long as possible so that they can make it to the end. These are the two people that they, at the moment, want to keep in the game the most besides themselves. He and Boogie push Janelle to nominate James because they don't trust him, but they get little success. So they instead go full throttle on Marcellus. He throws the veto to Danielle and pushes hard for Marcellus afterwards. Every day he's in bed with Janelle to do so. On the day of the nomination ceremony, he and Boogie wait in the HOH room for Janelle to wake up, so she'll do it, and at the last minute she agrees so long as he is the pawn. However, this is obviously not the case. As soon as Marcellus gets up, he basically, Marcellus is going home, and he just kind of soft launches the idea to Janelle and Howie, and by the end of the week, they've just basically given up. Marcellus is going home. Love this. Marcellus is kind of the only one left who would have targeted Chilltown upright. So this is a great move, in my opinion.
Yeah, this might be his best week of the whole season, to be honest. Like,
maybe
he gets out his only
winning move.
Yeah, this could have been. Yeah, he gets out his only opposition, and Marcellus. I think it's either last week or this week where he's on the field. It's like, Marcellus, Howie, James. That's the order. And you know what? he does his shit on that one. So good for you, Dr. Will. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic move. It also, like he says, pushes Janelle closer to him. And he also does good work on like getting Janelle eventually okay if Marcellus leaving.
My criticisms are towards Janelle, so there's nothing really I could say about this week, to be honest. Like, she'll get hers about this week.
Okay. This is also where we begin Operation Double Date. As you can see here, Erica, Will, and Janelle are in the hot tub together. They immediately grab Boogie, and all four of them get into the shower together. And this is kind of another Final Four they have going on. But what's interesting, Will's never really trusted Erica, although Boogie's been an advocate for her. Will does this thing where he like feeds Erica some false information that he's targeting Danielle, and Danielle's aware of this, but Erica rats it out to Danielle, and Danielle feeds it back to Will. And then for the rest of the game, Will never trusts Erica like that. And I don't know if it is because of this, but this is a moment I can pinpoint to where Will's always got to keep an eye on Erica. And it's interesting to see what his downfall is in hindsight, you know?
Yeah, he does not like Erica. I don't know. It doesn't like her on a personal level. It's like on a game level. Because even there's moments in the season, he's like, "So, do you remember what you said about G? Like, we should talk about that." Like, he just does.
Oh my
like
god,
that.
he did say that.
Like, he does not like this lady.
Do not want to poke the queen.
Queen is very generous.
Also,
Yes.
Boogie
I was
jumped
gonna
in that.
ignore that.
Also, Boogie did not jump in that shower for the girls. I'm just gonna say that.
Absolutely not. He showed no interest in Erica that season. Certainly not towards someone else. All right, we're in week 7. Week 7 is 2 parts, so let's get to part 1. George wins the HOH. He nominates James and Erica, however, James wins the veto. Although the house wants Janelle nominated, Will very much doesn't, as she has become a great weapon and shield for him in this game. Instead, Will again volunteers to be a pawn for George to ensure that Erica goes home, who, he's never trusted, as we've established. Will does not loop Boogie into this plan, however, and when he hears word of Will being in danger, he uses his coup, or threatens to use his coup, to get George on board to make Howie the renom instead. And then also, Will wants to keep Howie over Erica as someone that he can control easier. However, Boogie pushes Will to vote with him and evict Howie. So this is kind of a week where, in my opinion, Boogie just plays way better than Will. Like, first of all, you're volunteering to be a pawn again, and you also lose out on the vote and send home Howie, who you can control, over Erica, who you can't. I don't know what Will was doing. I think he was... Do you think he got too comfortable this week?
Maybe. This is also the first time and like only time all season he takes a back step to Boogie. And like Boogie's the one controlling it.
Maybe it's just because it's Chicken George.
He's
but again, volunteering to be
George's
a pawn.
Loyalty.
Bro, Chicken George does not need to be tested at all. I feel like we've established
Chicken George
what he's
even
capable
said
of.
He was like, "Well, I could never put you up. I have too much respect for you." Same thing he said about Janelle, by the way. So
I think he never would have considered Will if Will didn't volunteer. And then George is like, "Oh, fair game,"
and that's why George is. Anyways,
yeah. Okay. Any more comments about this?
Do you? Oh, you can go, Josiane.
I was just gonna say, like, I think this, to me, this week kind of shows, I feel like, Dr. Will's sloppiness. Like, I feel like he gets a little sloppy here and there. I feel like in season 2, because he was kind of up against the wall, he was like him versus the house. I felt he was way more meticulous in his movements and like deciding how he wanted to navigate the game. Whereas like this week, to me, I think he gets really comfortable by the fact that he has Boogie, Janelle, like George to an extent, Howie to an extent, that he just gets sloppy. So I just feel like it kind of like it just makes Mike Boogie seem like a better player in comparison to him. And there's 2 weeks where that happens already. And I know that like we keep saying like Will would have won against Mike Boogie, but I will say these weeks as a fan of gameplay kind of make me feel like Mike's a better player than Will in this circumstance, in this context.
I was gonna say, I think it might be like the double of it all and how fast it is. I think Will might be the type of player, he's to sit down and think of a plan, and when he gets a plan, he's locked in. He can do that plan. He can fulfill it. He can get everything moving for it. But I think Mike Boogie might be better in these like high pressure situations where he's like his gut instincts. He's like, this is what we gotta do. He's like, Will, Erica, I need both of them to stay. And Will's over here dicking around. He's just being a little asshole. Boogie's like, no, my game is you two. I need you two to stay. So
I think it's also just because Boogie really, really wants to win, and Will, is he in the game for Boogie? Is he not? We can talk about that all day, but here it's extremely evident because Boogie's being a lot more active than Will.
Would you put an asterisk next to Mike Boogie's win because he has such a big like pre-game target as Dr. Will, like with him, or no?
What do you mean? Wait, say that again.
Like Mike Boogie came into the game with Dr. Will, who's like such a big target in front of him, and who's like willing to like throw away his game at any opportunity from Mike Boogie. Like, does that make you like look at his win differently, like at all, or does it make you respect him more as a player? Or
I don't know.
He was able to manage it like so far into the game.
But every cast is so different, like I can see what you're saying, but I feel like you could so easily jump on a season and get someone who would just as easily throw their game away for you. Think of like we get showmancers who's willing to do that all the time. So although this is a clear-cut example where it's pretty much written in writing that they're going to split the check and he's going to throw his game away from him or whatever, I don't think that this situation is as uncommon in Big Brother for me to put an asterisk next to it. You play with the cards you're dealt. It's not Boogie's fault.
I think Will's disadvantages or some of his behaviors don't outweigh the pros that he brings. Like without Will, I think Will said it best. Like they both needed each other to win. Genuinely. I don't think Mike wins this season without Will, to be honest, because his biggest op is one of the people that Will controls, which is Janelle.
So would you say Will can win without Mike, but Mike can't win without Will?
No, I don't think Will can win without Mike either. I think it goes both ways.
On BB7.
On BB7, on BB7.
Oh,
yes.
I meant like in general.
In general. Like if we're going back to 2, are you referencing 2?
I mean, he did 2 and 14.
I mean,
on 14, he didn't want to be there.
He leaves so early into season 2. Like he doesn't really have that big of an impact. Like no shade. Like if anything, Boogie causes like the Chilltown alliance with Shannon. Obviously, I feel like we forget that she existed and she was a big role of that. Shout out to Miss Toothbrush. I think they go and they make themselves a bigger target. And I think we see Will kind of talk like that fast scene where he's talking about like seeing people and stuff. I think Will could win season 2 without Mike Boogie because he wasn't even that big of a factor, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I know this isn't the Boogie episode, but like during this rewatch, I think I'm like higher on both of them as players in the grand scheme of things. The fact that day 1 of the feed, it's like we got to split Chilltown up. They're an obvious duo. And yes, these people are dumb, but they actively manipulate them to get themselves in this position where they never get targeted. And Boogie is like really good socially. Like he's actually like, it's like except for like, a few people like Janelle and them, he's like actively working on his social game. And it's like, damn, I feel like if Boogie wanted to play 14, he probably could have been good on 14, but he didn't want to be there. So it is weird.
But I also feel like he benefits from being, along with Erica, being like one of the most like least like threatening people in the cast. I mean, he went out like so early. Like he's a he was a pre-jury flop, and Will got him dragged onto this cast, and so he came into the season with almost like I would say one of the lowest threat levels compared to everybody.
I mean, but Boogie was always going to be someone they'd throw out beside Will, you know. I mean,
I think without Will, like I think if Will was like, no, I don't want to do it, they wouldn't have called Boogie.
Probably not.
I think that's confirmed. That's the only reason Will said I'm not coming back unless Boogie's with me. So.
And that's why they made the cast bigger, allegedly, because this is a shorter season. Yeah. Okay. Should we move? Where are we? Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. 7 with Mike.
Yeah. So Will is completely safe because Boogie wins the following HOH. So Will is perfectly safe. Although he's worried that winning the HOH will make Chilltown more of a target. I don't know about this. I think competitions are necessary sometimes, but was this competition necessary? Who knows? I will say, now that I've seen the whole season, this is the best HOH of the season by far. Will spends a grand deal of effort cheering up a depressed Janelle, because obviously Howie's just gone home. He does like a lot of good work with her. He says, "Who's the prettiest girl in the room?" It's really cringy, but it seems like it works. Janelle claims that she wasn't. She was just acting, but I don't know, girl. They start flirting so much this week and even talk about their feelings for each other, which they dubbed the August 22 conversation, which reminded me so much of Vince and Morgan.
This Morgan and Vince.
They literally they say this was our August 22nd conversation that we reference later in the season. It's
not the OG Morgan conversation.
Yeah. Boogie and Will agree that Janelle and James are going up in order to throw the veto to Janelle and evict James by the end of the week, because Legion of Doom is getting, now the game is smaller, we can afford to lose one, especially with James volunteering to be a pawn. This is very easy. It goes off without a hitch. Will has never basically ever trusted James because James is just that shifty, untrustworthy persona. And Will's like, well, if you let go of Janelle so quickly, you can so easily get rid of me. Goodbye. This week is very clean, just on all fronts, I think. So anything you want to mention? Or this is the end of the Legion of Doom. From this point, Danielle knows that she can't trust Will.
Yeah, and this is probably maybe a risky move, because there's always like, if Danielle wins HOH, who goes up, Chilltown. But I kind of just have faith for them to get out of it from what I've seen so far. Is I feel like at least Will specifically, I think they evict Boogie over Will.
I don't think Danielle. I think if Danielle won, I think both of I don't think they would have gone out of it. Like genuinely, I think she was like, kind of
she was
bored
over it.
about what's going on. My criticism is while this week went well because at the end of the day we know who won, I don't think they needed to win it, to be honest. Like I always think about the jury and like their management. Like this is great. A lot of them I mean I've been doing it week by week, so I haven't watched the last 2 episodes, so I don't remember like the roundtable or anything like that, or how they're feeling. But I just think on a general note, because you don't fully know how people are going to react once they're in the jury house when they hear other information, I would rather be like, well, I had to cast my vote this way versus I put you up. Like genuinely, that's what I think is best. Like had Mike not won, I don't think James turns on them. I don't think Janelle turns on them. George couldn't have competed. Erica, and like they would have had the votes regardless. So like I just feel like it put more blood on Mike's hand that could have had serious repercussions had it not gone well. And I think again it chalks up to the game and the component of luck. Like I feel like, was the risk worth the reward? We know the end result, so it seems like it's a yes, but had it not, I don't think it would.
Wait, let me piggyback off that, because you made a great point. What if this, like the blood and the jury house, etc.? I think for Boogie, this is much better than Will, especially because James volunteers to be a pawn. So the blood is not on Boogie's hands because James literally nominated. However, Will has a vote. And when Will isn't willing to vote the way that Danielle would expect him to, that's where the ire comes from. And I think that's why Danielle primarily blames Will for this week more than Boogie, let's say. So maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure, because following this week, Danielle is explicitly targeting Will over Boogie. I don't know if that's because Will is more of the mastermindy of the duo, and to be honest, Boogie and Danielle always just had a closer relationship than she did with Will. But it's interesting to think about, you know.
Yeah, I feel like if the Marcellus week was like the turning point of the game, this week was definitely the point where Chilltown had it like locked up, where it was pretty much like, I don't know if they really had an opposition after this point.
Yeah.
Because who's left? Danielle, Chicken George.
Yeah,
Danielle,
none of them.
George, Erica, Janelle.
The whole man's.
Yeah.
Double Date Legion of Doom plus Chicken George.
Chicken George, the mighty Chicken George. The pathetic Chicken George, right? So Erica wins the next HOH, meaning that she obviously nominates George and Janelle. But having just slighted Danielle, Will feels her target shift to him and desperately needs her gone this week. Will tells Boogie to go into flirt overdrive with Erica to get her to switch the renom from him, who she was thinking before, to Danielle. He wants the veto used on George so Danielle can be nominated and they can send her home. Weird that he wants to use it on George instead of Janelle, but whatever. Janelle wins the veto, and Will is successful in getting Danielle nominated. He and Erica actually sleep in the HOH room together while she's ringing the bell to get in. You know, as we've established in the Danielle video, I was really thinking that this was going to be some huge move like with Marcellus. It was not. It was very easy to convince Erica to put up Danielle. Wonder why, but it was something to like, Danielle's the biggest threat. Meanwhile, does Erica be anyone left in the game? Does not compute. Stay tuned for Erica's review. Any notes? Danielle goes home.
Erica, you will get yours. Just wait. Just wait.
Her praise, I hope.
Oh,
Peter, were you there on Friday?
I think the fact that he's able to clock Danielle's like shifting the target of him. But to be fair, I don't know if I want to give him 10s for that, because logically that makes total sense. Like, you lied. Like, it kind of makes sense. The fact that it took him a little bit longer to realize, like, oh, this is actually gonna have really big repercussions with Danielle, to me, shows that he didn't outweigh the consequences of his actions when he casted his vote against James. Or the thought of it anyways. Like, why are you gagged that she's going after you? Like, you betrayed her.
You're right, but I feel like we see so many times players will betray someone and be like, I don't get why they're after me. What have I even done to them? They're still here. Like, you see it all the time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we praising this white man for the bare minimum? I don't know.
I'm not.
Hey.
Okay, but at least Danielle does go home, so Will's back in that great position. The next, Janelle wins the double. She wins the HOH, meaning that Will is protected the most. When Erica wins the veto, she and Will use their votes to say Boogie, and they evict George, who was not Janelle's target, but Will talks her out of it. Will actually tries hard in this veto competition. So this is one where he was trying to beat Erica, which, you know, is blatantly so, because he rings the bell before her, but then like gets caught up because it was against the rules, and Erica just manages it to like squeeze it out. So I think it's interesting that Will so badly wanted to take George to the end, which I think is the correct call because George is so weak in competitions and Will's at the end, and you know how good he is at competition. So I thought it was interesting that he is locked into a degree and isn't just throwing competitions all the time, you know?
I do agree that wanting to win veto so that Erica goes home makes total sense. Like, honestly, like that is what would differentiate his game from Boogie. I'm not saying that George would be in a position to be sitting with Boogie. That's not what I'm saying. But I just feel like, it just diminishes Boogie's odds of making it to the final two, where they have to. It almost forces Mike to keep relying on Will even more. Like it's like his plan B. It's like shooting his plan B, which is ironic because you're saying, "Oh, I want him to win. I want him to win," but then you want to go after Erica. You see, like the math's not mathing.
Yeah.
So like you're contradicting yourself. But I understand why he wants to get rid of her. Just don't say that you want Boogie to win when that's not true.
And you know, it's so crazy. They're just essentially arguing over which pawn they're going to take to the end because everybody else left in the game is going to take Chilltown to the end, either Boogie or Mike. And they're just arguing over who's going to take which individual person. So they've already got the game locked down at this point.
Until
it's just a matter of who's going to get the money.
Until we get to week 9. So Boogie wins the HOH. So Will is safe, I guess, but obviously all power is held in the veto. When Janelle wins the veto, all is set for her to evict Erica. However, Erica and Janelle get to talking. You know, Erica exposes everything. Basically, it's like, if I either do this or I go home. So Chilltown, like, you have to realize that Erica's gonna throw everything against the wall at this point because there's no point in staying loyal when the alternative is going home. She like swears on her mother to take Janelle to final 2 and convinces her that they've been played the entire time. They go through the whole game and how Chilltown have masterminded everything essentially. And this is enough for Janelle to get embarrassed. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're right. We have to evict them." And she essentially does. She flips, and then thus Will, for the first time, is like on the proper outs of the game. How do you think Will could have stopped them from talking like this? I mean, him and Boogie win the veto, I guess. Tell me.
I'll tell you right now. That argument that they had in the pool, to me, I'm sorry, he got too comfortable. If your game is gonna be to digmatize someone and like lay in bed
her down, you gotta dick her down.
You gotta dick her down till the very end. I'm sorry, I get you're in a relationship, but that's the strategy you chose. Yeah. This is how y'all connect. This is how y'all bond. This is how y'all get close. That's how you come up with your ideas. That's how you get her hypnotized. And for him at the end to be arguing with her, making her feel stupid, things like that, like he should have flopped. What he should have done is acted, whether or not it's true, acted head over heels with her and not give her a single moment alone. And he should have been kissing her. Like, we'll talk about Janelle, but clearly she's a words of affirmation baddie. Like, "Hey, queen, I see you. Me too, me too, me too." Who doesn't like the flirt? Who doesn't like the banter? So why is it that there's only 4 people left? It's the double date, and you're still not doing that? That don't make no sense. Now the switch up is crazy. So that's what he should have done.
Yeah, just like he has to stay on her all times. Even if Erica still does the talk, because Erica's always gonna talk, you gotta just like double down. Like, I'm taking you to the end. It's like me and you. It's just like keep flirting, stay in her bed. Like, you gotta go all in. Maybe like Boogie can go in too. Like, I don't know. So you gotta do something, because the final 4 is also very weird. Where it's like once veto is won, it's like sometimes that's just what happens. It's like, oh.
Yeah, and I think it's just also, again, you're unlucky that Erica won the double veto, and it's also, I think, like Farron Lee was saying, there's just I think Will just didn't realize that Janelle is autonomous like this, like that she is able to look past history in the game for a means of a greater goal that she needs to achieve. Because I truly think that Will would not. He says that he underestimated Erica. I think Erica did the fucking obvious, but like, I don't think he realized that Janelle was onto him this entire time. Like, she was, well, not onto him, but especially onto Boogie. Like, she wasn't convinced to take Chilltown to the end by any means. Like, she was going to take George if she could. And she says that she wouldn't have taken Will to final 2. So maybe there's just an element of that. That's why I say be careful of how long you take Janelle, because, you know, she isn't an Erica who will just blindly do whatever you say, you know?
Yeah, and doesn't Janelle like I regret this move now. Like I feel like she talked about this, how she would have kept
Does
Will.
she?
I just don't think she likes Erica. I think that's what it comes down to. She doesn't like Erica.
Well, if Janelle does regret this move, she's kind of stupid because like you don't beat Boogie or Will in the final two. So
yeah,
this is your
To
only way
be
you can win.
honest, I would be very sad to hear that she regrets this move. Granted, do I think Erica's all that great? To be continued. But at the end of the day, you're here to win. It's an individual game. So like you don't owe anything to Will. Like that's so I really hope that's not true because that would really piss me off. That's like the one iconic moment in the season when she stands up there and she votes to evict him. She says, "I've made a lot of mistakes in this game." I was like, okay, work. So if she regrets that would piss me off.
But I'm tired of making mistakes.
I think from what I've seen, I think she was talking about it with Boogie on 14, and she could just be lying to Boogie because like it is her betraying him.
Well, I would lie to a man because if he goes by ego and pride, like I would lie too.
Yeah, so that would make sense if she's just lying to Boogie in that moment. But I also know she doesn't like Erica. I don't think she. So I could always see her just being like, if I don't want Erica to win. So
crazy. Dr. Will could have been a 2-time winner if he just cheated on his partner. Very Tom Sandoval.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna throw some
go
dick
all the
in,
way.
throw some dick in. Like, hello.
Don't happily cheat. Just go all in, guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Is he still married to his current partner that he had at the time of this, right?
I think so. I don't know that. I don't know for certain.
Oh wait,
but I
that's his
believe so.
long-term partner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? You want the
Damn.
bigger prize.
Feel
Hey,
no Janelle got your man.
I believe so because I remember on 22 Feeds Janelle talking about her and Will don't talk no more, and people were like, "Yeah, it's because she's still with the same person from 7. She's not gonna let them talk."
Dang, that's crazy.
okay, well,
She's still
work.
beside
Shout
him?
out.
Dr. Will probably got money. I don't blame her.
Well, yeah, because anyways, I feel like plastic surgeons get paid really well.
Oh
Yeah.
So
Because it's
especially
all
if you have
private, isn't it?
high-profile clients.
Huh? Sorry.
Especially if you have like high-profile clients.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you see? I saw him do Jeffree Star. Did you
That's
see
the-
that?
He did do Jeffree Star.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that. What?
oh, that's not.
Do you think they were talking about Big Brother?
Wait, in what year?
It wasn't the most agreed. It was like
Hold
when
on,
he
let
was
me
more
look this up.
popular.
I think it was like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
No, but like how pre are we talking pre?
Not that pre. It's not when he was,
Like 2019. That sounds like that sounds realistic around
2019,
then.
2018.
I don't know anything about Jeffree Star. Is he a terrible person? I know nothing about that guy.
I'm just looking at the information.
You just had to be there during the
In
summer of whenever
2019,
that
Dr. Kirby
controversy
performed
was.
reconstructive surgery on Jeffree Star's lip. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the video.
2020, Botox.
Put it in. Put it in the
Enhanced
Discord.
transplants. Oh wow. Oh wow.
When's the last time Will hosted a roundtable?
25.
Was it 25? Oh
He's
yeah,
probably busy taking care of Jeffree Star. Anyways,
I remember 25 because
Okay.
after he hosted it, he talked about how this is one of the best roundtables we've ever had. Everyone was like so argumentative and they were getting their points on, and then they showed it, and it was nothing. Nothing
It was
happened.
boring.
And I was like, okay, Will, you gotta stop hyping people up.
Bro. But that's it for Dr. Will. That is his illustrious BB7 game that everyone praises. And you know what? We'll assess when we finish with Janelle, okay? So Janelle, buxom mixed with brains, comes. This is the last member of BB6. They're all gone.
The Queen.
Finally. The Queen.
Why has
She
nobody
comes-
else from BB6 returned? Like, why do they always bring back Janelle and Kaser?
Well, you were the one that wanted
oh,
Howie.
you
and
want to
James
return Mr.
again.
Boobies Howie? Don't piss me off.
No, I want to see
You did
Rachel.
say
Who
that.
are
I
you
see
bringing
Rachel- I
back?
see Rachel again.
Rachel.
I see James again.
Oh,
Okay,
James does
James
not
I
need
can
to
allow.
return.
Sorry, but like
I want
Howie.
Yvette was
I
rumored
see
for
Sarah
22.
again. Okay.
I'll take
Sarah's-
Maggie.
I think
Oh, Miss.
Maggie would never come back. I would love it though.
Hey, okay. I see.
they really need Jennifer back. That's who we're really missing.
Oh God.
Jennifer and April, they should be on 28.
April. Busto.
I can back April. I thought you were talking about season 6 from this season. That was my bad.
Yeah.
No one from James I can allow. Howie absolutely not.
Okay. Janelle comes into this game with probably the biggest target. As we've established, Diane and Jace were definitely in talks of targeting her in Kesa immediately. Janelle has gone on to say on multiple podcasts that had she or not a member of BB6 won this podcast, she and Kesa would have been nominated and she would have been evicted this week. So you are Janelle, freshly off BB6. You're coming into the season. How do you play? What's your instinct?
win everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she does.
She heard you.
Be mother.
I think her first week as HOH could have been. I feel like it makes sense for her to win week 1. I don't love the idea that you have to rely solely on your competition wins to win. Like, I personally don't root for players that way. I think she should have used her HOH. She's co-HOH with Jace. She should have really worked that. I think she should have really like spoken to the people, because I think at the end of the day, if they went after season 6, she was the first to go. If you can't make them not target you, at least make sure that you're the last to go. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like she didn't do that. I feel like if the other side had won, she would be the one who would be going up. Like, Howie was always going to be safe over her. James was always going to be safe over her. Kaser, I mean, depending on who you speak to, but usually, like, it would maybe Chilltown. Like, I feel like she could have done more in terms of, like, trying to minimize her threat as much as possible. But I think she just preferred to rely on her competitions, which is fine.
I kind of feel like she did do that a little bit. Like, she does win a lot of comps during the season, but she's kind of safe even without the comps. Like, she does usually have the votes to stay safe. And her and James are the only two who like ever talk to anybody outside of season 6 and like go make connections early on. She does have like good relationships with like Marcellus.
Well, she's smoking with Nokomis.
Well, Marcellus, that's the thing though. Marcellus was talking mad shit about her, talking about how she needs to go. So like, love Marcellus down, but I don't know.
Wow.
Like, Marcellus was the only
Howie at least was spoken to by Chilltown and mocked.
Yeah. I just think there's not much you could do when like someone like Janelle has like the aura of a threat where it's like she has to go. Like, she obviously has to go at some point. So it's like, how much can you navigate that on a returning player season?
And these girlies came into the season already not liking Janelle. I mean, Allison is calling her a bitch. Like, it's real bad.
Because she's talking wild on those 6 feeds.
But the thing is, Janelle's not the only one who has aura in terms of like a competitor. If we're gonna praise Chilltown for being able to mitigate the threat of theirs, I feel like you have to knock Janelle down because she doesn't do that at all. Like, to be real. And I'm not saying that means that she's a bad player. I'm just saying what I think would have been better for her game is because she gets nominated how many times? Like, she's probably the most nominated person out of probably the season. I don't know if that's true, but that's my assumption because she played every other veto. And then also, like, I just feel like if she was a final nominee, she never ends up being a final nominee. But if she does, she goes home. Like, I understand that we're saying, like, well, she was covered with Chilltown and stuff like that. But, like, let's say let's say Boogie and Janelle were on the block together. Janelle goes home.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying, like, I just feel like that was the gap in her game. It's like, I understand wanting to win, but there are elements of like being better socially with other people that she could have done better. And I think she just like enjoyed being with like specific people in the house, which is not the worst thing in the world. But I'm just saying you just ostracized a whole other part of the house.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think what I keep comparing her to BB6. When you compare it to like actual good players, that definitely is a flaw in her game. But when you compare it to NB Brother 6, you're like, oh my god, she's like the best player I've ever seen. Because everyone in season 6 played so bad when it comes to just talking to people.
And I feel like Janelle tried to make the effort to play that kind of game, but when you have like Howie just basically like going around like yelling every time you win a comp, being like season 6 Super Bowl baby, woo! Yeah. It's like how can you hide that?
Right.
Well, I would have told Howie to shut up.
We'll see, because you guys raised some great points. But we'll see how the game looks once we examine it a little bit. Okay, so she goes into the game with, BB6, Howie, Casey, James are attached from the hip. Basically, they try to be like, no, we're not together, but perception is reality. You basically are all together all the time. You know each other really well. The rest of the house considers you together. You're together. Okay, stop trying to fight it and just play from there. She does pick up Marcellus really quickly. This is kind of her parachute. They hit it off great to start with. We'll see where that leads. So she wins HOH with Jace, and they nominate Allison and Danielle because of their insane plan to get Jace and Janelle to disagree with the nominations and get rid of Janelle. Janelle doesn't tell those she doesn't trust fully who her target is to stop Allison campaigning. But Jace, I think it ends up leaking anyway, but they blame it on Jace for leaking this in the future. But I'm trying to think whether relationship leads, because BB6, besides Janelle, are so quick to be anti-Jace moving forward because they think Jace is floating to the other side. And Janelle's really the one that stays by Jace's side for the rest of this. Like with Marcellus and Jace, I think this is her trying to keep relationships up with other people in the house besides BB6, you know?
Yeah, even Nokomis, like the people that she does
and Nokomis, actually, yeah.
The people that she does value outside of season 6 all do get targeted pretty early on.
Exactly. So also I want to say, if you are Janelle and you have this huge threat level, I don't hate that this HOH basically becomes Janelle's HOH. You know, Jace uses the HOH to kind of play the middle. Janelle just uses the HOH to get out her ops, basically, which you kind of have to do if you are this much of a threat, in my opinion. So I'm not mad at that. So Janelle wins the veto as well and chooses not to use it. However, as we've established, there is a huge vote flip this week where Allison and Chilltown and Diane basically get the votes to evict Danielle instead. However, they do revert back later in the week because Allison starts going crazy and hiding in pots. My thing is, this could have all been averted had Janelle just used the veto on Danielle and put up George as a pawn, and Allison could have gone home. So it's interesting to think about it like that, especially because Janelle, at the time of using the veto, was considering using it on Danielle. She even mentions it before she chooses not to use the veto. What do you think this is? Do you agree with me that she should have used it?
I don't think she should have, because then George would have had the perfect reason to put her up whenever he won instead of James.
Oh, please. George is so easy to knock over. Like
George is... Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, I do think like there is like a good reason to put up, like specifically she wants Allison out. But I kind of feel like there would have been a push to get Chicken George out also, because I think the same push to flip it to save Danielle, to save Allison would have still happened. And I think it would have been unsuccessful either way. I just kind of feel like Allison and Danielle are two of the better players in the game, and they're both after you. Kind of just leave them out there. If it flips, it sucks because Allison is like the one more actively after you, but you need both of them. One of them has to go this week, because if Chicken George goes instead, it is kind of like a waste of first HOH.
So here's my counter argument to this, right? First of all, Danielle is willing to work with BB6 at this point because of her connection to James. That's hours later, but at this point, she's fine going after the Jaces as the other HOH or whatever. The difference for me is with Marcellus, right? Because Marcellus really wants Danielle gone. And Marcellus is one of these key like swing votes that she needs to get on his side. And in order to get Marcellus on her side, she has to promise him so much. She's like, I will always prioritize you first over the rest of BB6. I will nominate Danielle next week if that's what you want. I'll get my allies to do the same, this, that, and the other. And this is like the beginning, the stepping stone for Marcellus and Danielle's relationship to go down the drain, because she does not follow through on any of these promises. You know?
Yeah.
And he would have been willing to vote out George for her.
I agree with you, Cass, actually. I think she should have used the veto. I think there's too much leeway for something to go left and not how she wanted it to go. I think she wouldn't have lost anything because she's HOH, right? It's not like the HOH can get mad at you, you're HOH. And I think, honestly, I don't think Chicken George leaves, regardless, because of the fact that Allison does her big one. So she gets rid of her off, and she gets rid of Allison, a chance to bring Danielle even closer, which would have avoided a lot of the like back and forth, I think, and the tension between them later on in the season, because then it would have showed that she values Danielle. And I think it would have just benefited her as a whole. And like the whole Marcellus thing, like I would have just justified it and said, Marcellus, like, I'm only using it for this time to ensure that my target goes home. And like, or I would have said, Marcellus, you know what? I'm going to help you get HOH, and you'll be the one to say that you got Danielle out. Like, I would have just pivoted it a little bit differently. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think she would have lost anything by using the veto on Danielle.
Do you think Marcellus would have been more mad if she uses it on Danielle? He's like, because like I think he was reluctant to like vote to keep her, but I think if he doesn't even have the option, he might be like, well, like, what the hell? Like, I want Danielle.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you frame it. I think if Janelle was like, Marcellus, because at this point, Marcellus was on board to get rid of Allison this week and save Danielle for a later week. It was only when the momentum started coming up that Danielle might go that Marcellus kind of momentarily jumped onto it. But if Janelle is like, listen, Marcellus, we agreed that Allison is going anyway. I'm hearing all this commotion from the other side of the house that it might not work. I absolutely need Allison gone this week, and we can target Danielle next week, I promise. I think he wouldn't have put too much of a fuss up about that, especially because she ends up telling him to vote the other way anyway. So there isn't too much difference. Like Danielle stays either way, you know. But hey, we can move on to week 2. So Janelle wants Kaiser to nominate Chilltown. Thank God. But when Kaiser pushes otherwise, she settles for Diane and Nokomis. At this point, Howie and Kaiser and her are kind of leaving James out of the loop because there's this whole thing where James doesn't hug the rest of BB6 when they win HOH. It's really stupid and doesn't really matter. Later on in the week, Janelle realizes that Kaiser's nominations were fucking stupid. She tried to get him to get Erica to use the veto on Nokomis and send home Chilltown, but this doesn't happen. She's brushed aside. Janelle and James get much closer, bonding over Kaiser's fucking stupid choices. They no longer trust Jace. This is when it happens because Jace in the hot tub and Jace is getting drunk with Chilltown. That's it. We don't trust Jace anymore. Janelle, which is, again, like, Janelle just losing connections to people outside of BB6. And I think this has always been Janelle's biggest flaw as a player. It's just that she's just unable to work with all of the house. She just can't. There's always going to be the people that she can work with, and there are always going to be the people she can't work with. And this is in the game of Big Brother, you have to be good with anyone because anyone can win power at any point. And if you're not going to win comps all the time, then you can find yourself in being really sticky situations, you know?
But she can win comps all the time.
But I don't think you should.
I
don't think you should rely on that
because there's going to be a time where you can't. Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens if, like, by accident, and I wouldn't wish this on anyone, you twist your ankle, or you got Christmas all of a sudden with one leg up, with a what's it called, a little scooter. Like, you're not guaranteed that you're going to win every competition, and like. Obviously, the competitions in this era are very different. But I'm like also thinking about it as like also in a modern world as well. Like the competitions aren't like dive in the dumpster or like it's not as equitable as you may think these ones are, even though these ones debatably can be considered not equitable. Up to you. I think that's like a big flaw in her game. And I think this week for me, I get very irritated with Janelle in terms of like, I think she does things that don't benefit her long term and put her at odds with people like even James or people who are even on her side. So I feel like there's too much reliance on the physical aspect of the game here.
Yeah, but if you surround yourself with other allies who are also really good at competitions, then you basically could just like run the game.
Okay, but it's not a guarantee. I think the way we're talking about it is like, well, it's guaranteed. It's because we know the results. If this was a season that was happening live and we didn't know the outcome, we would all be saying the same thing. But it's because we know the outcome that we're like, okay, well, it's fine. It's actually not. Like, it's not. I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. It's the end of the world. We've seen worse winners. Like if Janelle would have won, it would have been fine for me. But it's because we're also talking about it from a sense of like, we know the outcome. So we're justifying it. But like in a normal season, usually we don't see one alliance just win competitions back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say, Christmas won a running competition with that one leg. So don't count out if you get Christmas. You could always win something. But
God.
I've been thinking of that joke for a minute. But I was gonna say winning like competitions. I don't like when we do the final score for Janelle, it'll probably be lower because I feel like she does have to rely on competitions a lot more than her social and strategic game. But at the end of the day, if you can win comps, fuck it, you can win comps. I guess. Like I don't like players that had to rely on it. But I think of like even Morgan this last season, there were some times if she didn't win those comps, she probably would have been gone. But she's able to clutch up and win a comp. I think it's how you use those comps. Can you use these comps to like grow your social connections?
Yeah.
And I don't know, Janelle did that every week. She did a couple times, but not every week. She didn't do it every week.
I suppose I would always, Janelle has the ability to win a lot of comps. And I would definitely like rather you win the comp than think you don't need to win it, throw it, go home. Like that's even worse.
Yeah,
and I think, you know, this week has shown that Janelle does have a good head on her shoulders. Like she does realize I want Nokomis to stay. That makes more sense for me. Case of these nominations are stupid. She fights hard for Nokomis to stay. She's strong at comps, but I think it's just the social component of her that is lacking because Nokomis is one of the only ties she had left to someone, anyone out of BB6. And because of her connection to Nokomis goes home because of the lack of work she does with the rest of the house. And you can argue that her threat level also comes into that, something that she couldn't really control coming into the house. But it's kind of a mixed bag. So yeah. I also think BB7's like a perfect, like this is one of the best ways Janelle's game could have gone.
Yeah. And also, I feel like I don't like it when players throw comps. Like, it's a very certain situation. I understand you throw the comp and you get what you need without the like the blood on your hands. But most of the time, I'm like, man, unless you're like Jag Baines, I feel like you just gotta like win every comp. I don't think you're gonna know. I'm gonna win every single competition. I think you have to win the ones. Go for every single competition. It's not guaranteed that I threw this HOH, I'm gonna get next HOH. That's not a guarantee. So I can't get mad that Janelle wins so many HOH and vetoes. It's like, you should just go for it. And if you win it, you win it.
Yeah. And especially comparing to Will, who would throw himself on the block. Janelle would be the type of player to never do that. She'd never consider that. So, she'll never take the game for granted.
Yeah, I just think it depends on your position. I think it's okay to throw comps sometimes. I will mainly
agree.
vetoes,
but you
rather
have to
than
have,
HOHs.
yeah, I agree, as long as you have the awareness to know when you're going to throw the comp. Because if you throw a comp when you actually did need it and you end up going home, you just end up looking stupid. You know what I mean?
And it depends on the comp.
Yeah.
I mean, we see people all the time throw comps where they have to like write on the whiteboard because they don't want to win when they know who the other person is.
Yeah, I just always feel like, I think it's like a me personal thing. I don't think I would be the type of person to win a lot of comps, so I don't think I would throw any. I think I just gotta win something because I need to like try to get.
You don't think you'd win any comps?
I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating myself, but I don't think
Not
I'd be
against Jag.
Nah, being that Keanu and Morgan, I'd be like, yo, this was fun. Peace out, y'all. This has been a good time.
Yeah. Okay. So Nokomis goes home, sad. Oh well. No one moved when Nokomis left besides Janelle. Janelle also votes to evict Diane, but no one ends up caring. So in week 3, this is when Janelle and Will properly start getting to flirting. They've had a pretty cool reception up to this point, but now I don't know if Will wants a connection. I don't know what this is about, but I think Janelle's just toying with the idea at this point. Their relationship confuses me.
It's so
James
interesting.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Their
relationship.
We'll see how we feel about it at the end when we wrap them up, because again, this might clear things up for me. So when James wins HOH, again, BB6 in power. BB6 get to survive. They make their allegiance official week 3, which is kind of funny. This is where they come up with their alliance name. They go through alliance names. They settle on Sovereign 4.
That's maybe my favorite alliance name in Big Brother history.
They spend like a day going through alliance names and settle on the one they already had.
The fact that they were on BB22 and they weren't called the Sovereign 2 is such a missed opportunity.
At this point. So
it's crazy.
James's original target wins the veto. Janelle urges James to nominate Jace in his place. And after a long struggle, James wavering included, she is successful and Jace goes up, who is targeting her, but so is Boogie. I feel like Boogie going up would have been great, especially because you might have been able to have Will ult yourself or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know, because I think if Boogie leaves this week, it is great for her. I think Will's all to her. Like, Will would just focus on her relationship. But also part of me thinks if Boogie and Will are the final noms, Will might just be like, evict me. And Will going isn't good for her.
I could see that happening.
Well, I suppose you just get rid of Will eventually.
Like, do you really see a situation in which Will would want to stay there without Boogie?
No.
No.
This week, I think, is a very big whoopsie for Janelle, like an unnecessary one. Like, specifically her relationship with James, I think causes so much opposition that is so not necessary for her. Like, just
especially next week, it's bad.
Like,
yeah,
I feel like my thought is on Big Brother, I think people lie necessarily and they tell like half truths, which don't help them in the long term. Don't say that you're going to do something or promise something if you genuinely don't have the intention to do so, because unless you're going to throw a competition, which she can't, that's the thing. She's not in a position where she can throw a competition because this is how she's setting herself up. So you know that you have a chance of winning a competition, being in a good position in the game, and then people are going to expect you to follow through with what you said. And I think this week sets that up for that big force of opposition with James. Like, James is a key member in dismantling the Sovereign 4, if you will, which is her biggest ally. So I think it was really a nasty choice, I fear.
Yeah. I know we've already talked about it, but the problem with Janelle this week is that she's just losing personal connections with anyone outside of BB6. She thinks that people like Danielle, who's close to James, and Marcellus will keep all of BB6 safe when they won't. Like, maybe they won't go after Janelle in particular. Like, I don't think Marcellus would properly go after Janelle, let's say, at least at this point. But again, they're not going to keep you safe like you think they are. Like, you can't just keep Chilltown in this game with two people who don't win comps and think that the rest of the floaters are going to target them instead of you guys when you guys can win comps. Like, you know, why don't you solidify like a bigger alliance with Marcellus, Erica, Danielle, just so if they were to flip, it would be harder for them to do so, and they would be making an active betrayal where they can't kind of worm their way out of it, if you know what I mean.
They really could have just brought in Marcellus and Danielle and been like, we're the Sovereign Six.
Yes. Make a new Rachel, new Sarah, you know?
Janelle,
new Ashlea.
I feel like Janelle be having thoughts and like ideas about doing that, and then she just never follows through with it. She just thinks in her mind, I got my niggas and I'm just gonna run through with it.
Yes.
Like,
really, she should be
exactly
the horizon. Yeah, that's exactly what she thought.
That was on the transcript. Stop.
I'm just saying, like, I know we knock on James a lot, but I will say his optimization of his game and positioning himself in a better position than his allies is things that I wish Janelle would take note of. Like, genuinely, like, it literally, it does not harm you to position yourself better than your alliance members when the time comes, because the pendulum always swings the other way. It always does at some point. It might be a week, it might be multiple weeks, but it will happen. So why not protect yourself as much as possible? Like, you clearly shown that you're in positions of power. Use
Leverage
it.
Yeah, and I feel like I talked about this during the James week. That's something Xavier did really well. Like, he positioned himself in the center of the cookout. Like, when the cookout got to the end, he was the one winning it. And then even he saw this, like, people don't like to give him credit, but Jag on 25, even he positioned himself in the Mafia where, like, I'm gonna get into the end and I'm winning it. Chelsea positioned herself in the middle of the house. Like, the good players who end up winning in the new era position themselves to get to the end within their alliance. So it's okay. Just like ruin your friends' positions. They'll get over it in the jury house and they'll vote for you.
Right. And as long as you don't actually go after them, there's no harm.
Because like, if we're in a 4-person alliance and like say someone else wants HOH, it's not my fault I got a good relationship with them and they target you guys instead. It's like, oh no. Like,
get mad at them, not me.
Collateral.
You know? So it's interesting we think about throwing comp. So Janelle wins the 4th HOH, which means BB6 are in power again. But she later regrets that she didn't throw this one to Marcellus. Her initial plans are to nominate Diane against Boogie. Boogie is the fake plan, but she really wants a floater gone. This floater starts out as Diane, but although she is Kaser and Howie's support, she does not have James's. Because James sends up Diane to have a long conversation with Janelle where they start to hash out everything. Janelle and Diane, you know, they have some pre-game beef. If you haven't seen that, go to Diane's game review. And Janelle basically switches her plan to, instead of get rid of Diane this week, she wants to get rid of Danielle. This is why she nominates Erica against Boogie, because Erica is the perfect pawn to evict whoever is next to her. She assures Erica all week that she's safe. My thing is, like, let's say Danielle goes this week. That is great because that makes it so the Legion of Doom is unable to form. It means that Chilltown have to gravitate more towards her. I think this is a great target. But again, like, she switched the target to Danielle way too late, to the point where when she nominates Erica, Erica's like blindsided and she's basically lost Erica forever, or until like week 9 at this point. And also, you know, she doesn't even go through with the plan to evict Danielle. So I think this is really where her, you know, game kind of takes a one-way street, you know.
Also, I think, say if Danielle goes this week instead of Diane, I feel like the Legion of Doom forms with Diane instead.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been as powerful with Diane.
No,
I
think James and Danielle's relationship is great, and James has a great relationship with Diane. I mean, you could argue that Boogie was trying to fuck her the entire time.
Yeah, and so then if Diane stays, do Boogie and Erica really link like that? Maybe.
But I think what Peter was saying earlier about throwing it when you know who your other person is, like, I think she should have just fucking thrown it. She was not gonna go up on the block. She was not. The moment she does this HOH, it makes a whole lot of people mad at her. Not just James, also Marcellus, and like other like, I just feel like, was it really worth it to protect Chilltown this much? Like, genuinely, I guess you could argue yes, because she got to Final Four, but there's also a world where she could have won. So
I gotta go back on my words earlier. I'm anti-throwing, but if you're in a situation like this where it's like you were one other person to win, I think that's fair game. Like if you know you're gonna be safe, like you could throw that at that point. It's fair game. It's me or you.
And although Martellus talks a lot, I do not think he would have nominated Janelle. Like worst case scenario, James would go, and is that really that bad? You know,
it's so interesting that Janelle and not Howie, Kaser and James are all anticipating that the Sovereign 4 is going to blow up. So they think in their mind, we have to keep Chilltown in because we need another ship to jump onto when this alliance eventually blows up and we're going to get targeted. And then eventually just Chilltown never enacts on that power and they all just get taken out. It's just crazy to think about.
Yeah. Also,
why do you want to jump onto Chilltown? Why do they really want to do that? Like, does Chilltown
James
strike
wants
them
to
as
do
a
it, Janelle wants to do
loyalty?
it, Kaser wants to do it. Like
I
don't
know.
get
What
it.
do you think? I don't know what it is, you guys.
Pretty
Maybe it's because
privileged.
they're the only other defined alliance in the house.
Maybe.
But I think
I
the
don't know.
irony in that, the beautiful irony is because they're so worried about the potential downfall, they cause it themselves.
Exactly.
Like if they would have just like stuck together and worked as a unit, they would have dog walked this season. Dog walk, like genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think just more and more I think about Janelle and James' specific relationship. I think the only reason they're working together is because they're from the same season. I don't think like 8 out of 10 times those two people play Big Brother. I don't think they work together because I just don't think they naturally like their game styles don't fit with each other. I think the only reason they worked together this season is because the Sovereign 6 on season 6 was James was like forced to be in it. James didn't even want to be in that alliance. They had to like force him. Sarah had to be like, no, we have to do this. So I just don't think James ever really wants to work with Janelle. I just don't think their game style, like personality, is really compatible.
And that again loops back to what we're saying. Janelle's just the type of player to only be able to play with a certain type of player, you know? She has the people she fucks with and she has the people they don't. But for me, in order to be that upper caliber Big Brother player, you can be able to play with anyone, you know?
And can we open that thought a little bit more? In a game where literally the whole point is to bring people from different walks of life, culture,
social experiment.
It's a social experiment. The fact that you can't go beyond yourself, and I'm not trying to. I'm saying these negative things about Janelle, and I don't want to come off like a Janelle hater, but this is the whole point of what we're doing is to like analyze and like give feedback and criticize, if you will. I think that is such a fatal flaw to have as a player in general. Like the whole point is to get along with as many people as possible. When people go in and they do clicks, sorry, if you can't back it up with the competition wins, you are going to go home. Like to me, there's I have yet to see an alliance steamroll in a way where they just exclude certain people without the competition wins. And that's the great thing about Janelle. She can't back it up with the wins. But that to me is not the point of this game. Like even if you go back to season 2, there wasn't even a veto. So like you're on the block, you're done for. So I don't know.
To cap this week off, so basically she throws the veto to Boogie and she basically makes this parachute with Will and Boogie. To her credit, they do prioritize her a lot and take her very far in this game, meaning that maybe, you know, she does have something with them. However, in doing so, by nominating Diane and Erica on the block, she loses Erica pretty much for the rest of the game. She loses Danielle pretty much for the rest of the game. She loses Marcellus entirely, you know? It's like, and these are people that are probably more straightforward with you and would have, you know, well, maybe not Danielle, but would have given you more of the full story instead of playing with players on their terms as she does with Chilltown for the rest of the game. But again, they are running the game, so it does benefit her in situations. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're going to blow up season 6, might as well take out Danielle over Diane.
Agreed. Especially who the following HOH is, you know?
Could I Marcellus do it?
I agree with your point, and also I just feel like Janelle actively does this thing where she helps Chilltown be in the middle. Like that's the thing.
By her being such
like she's not bettering her position. She's gaining 2 allies, sure, but she pushes those allies to be more middle, more center, and more important to other people's games and not her own. Like not with other people, like her game being more important than theirs with other people.
Agreed. Okay, so she gets a horrible scenario where Danielle wins the following HOH. And because Janelle fully targeted the floaters this week, she's not afraid to retaliate. Danielle makes the questionable choice to nominate James as well, and Janelle doesn't fall for it. She's like, James is not a decoy. This makes no sense. James is a decoy. This makes no sense for Danielle to ultimately target James.
Falls for it a tiny bit.
I think
a little bit, but not as much as Kaysa and James.
From my memory,
not James, Howie.
Yeah, from my memory, she like doesn't believe it at first, and as the week goes on, she's like, "Oh, I think James wasn't." Like she starts to believe it, and then when it gets to the end of the week, she's like when I get the next week, she's like, "Oh no, James lied to my face."
So. Okay, maybe I'm getting confused then. But I remember at the start because there's this clip where before the veto happened, she's like telling Kaysa, "No, that makes no sense." And Kaysa's like, "Yes, it makes complete sense." But like I said, so she's obviously Danielle's target. However, she does win the veto. She gives up the opportunity to play in the week 6 veto, which I suppose I am the target. Hey, I've got to survive this week. We'll worry about next week when we get to it. If I'm in this dire of a situation, she puts all the house on slop. She makes them all sleep on cots or whatever. But it's not in vain. She does win the veto. She takes herself off the block. Kaysa goes up. Obviously, she wants to save Kaysa over James, who is far shiftier. James uses his nullify vote on Janelle. It's kind of a fruitless endeavor. Kaysa goes home. Although they do think they have a chance to get Kaysa to stay because of Chicken George's nonsense and Chilltown being, them wavering a lot. But, BB6 take a loss this week, which is interesting that the moment they're not in power, boom, they're targeted.
Yeah.
It just shows that, like, you could have done work to stop this from happening,
Correct.
But we're in danger again because Erica wins the next HOH, but it's fine because the HOH competition malfunctions. We get a redo, and Janelle wins the next HOH. And this is the HOH in particular I want to rack your brains over. So Chilltown immediately start pressuring her to put up James. Janelle and Howie say, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have a repeat of BB6. James is safe this week. So they decide to go full throttle on Marcellus, put up Marcellus against Danielle, and Janelle's thinking, no, because Marcellus will just go home and I need Danielle to go home. Or if not Danielle, then Erica, who can win comps. So she nominates Danielle and Erica. However, James and Chilltown play in the veto, and all three of them just throw it to Danielle, enabling her to win without even doing anything in the competition. Now, Boogie and Will... Well, actually, no, Boogie's not even participating. What am I talking about? Boogie and Will participating, they managed to, not make it as obvious, and she buys it, but James completely botches it. And Janelle whispers to Howie, James is not on our side anymore, for sure this time. What do you guys think? What should Janelle do in this HOH,
Yeah. There is the argument of taking out James because he's not on your side no more, but you still have a relationship with James, and when you're in the house with people that you don't have relationships with, is James worth getting out at this point?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always think snipe out Boogie. At this point, you're in the jury phase. Why not snipe out Boogie?
She was thinking about Boogie, but it was more so as a pawn to get rid of Erica this week.
Yeah, I think Erica isn't a bad person for her to go out.
Yeah.
I think this week is really interesting because I feel like this kind of was a week where Janelle could have seen where everyone lies truly. And I felt like she focused on the wrong person. The fact that she was in her HOH, they're trying to push for Marcellus, right? Let's not. They're trying to push for James, doesn't work. They're trying to push for Marcellus, doesn't really work. Or no, it ends up working, but later on in the line. But I feel like those are little key hints that should have stayed with her for her following HOH. Or no, sorry. The week 4, did they not try to put Marcellus on the block? Am I mistaken with that or no?
They tried to put Will on the block.
Oh, they tried to put Will on the block?
Well, the House wanted Janelle to put Will on the block because they say you obviously threw the veto to Boogie. Put up Will.
But Chilltown was trying to push Marcellus. Am I not mistaken for that? Week 4?
Probably. But that was a massive hard sell because at that point, Janelle and Marcellus were...
Well, yeah. That was week 4. Mm-hmm. You don't have that much to do in the house. So the next week that you're HOH, they're pushing Marcellus again. It's not clocky to you that they're gonna blindside him. That to me is lazy gameplay. That's lazy. That's lazy. That's boring. And mind you, Will was competing in every other competition. And then the bull riding one, he picks an absurd number, but you're focused on James. Like, I understand why you're annoyed with James, but it felt like Chilltown got to sit there and eat their food, and you're so focused on James when the people you've been protecting this entire time are actively plotting against the things that you want. Like, that to me, it's like, Janelle, girl, like they're showing you their ass right now, and you're choosing to ignore it. That's how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just something we see all the time. But I feel like it's like we could be going at each other for most of the season, but once my ally jumps ship, I feel more personally betrayed by my ally. Now it's like, oh, you're the problem. Why would you do this to me? I got to resolve this immediately by taking you out. It's like, no, you still got other people that was already in front of them. Like, you can go get those people first, big dog. Like, what do we
and do? Even then, like, Janelle, you literally turned James against you. That's my issue, I fear, with this whole James and this Sovereign Six alliance. Like, he told you during your week 4 HOH what was up. Like, he didn't hide it. He said, you guys are literally like pushing against me. During my HOH, you pushed against me, blah, blah, blah. And you told me this is what's going to happen. Next HOH, you go behind my back and you don't do that. You don't follow through. Mm-hmm. And instead of repairing that relationship, they kind of like let it be because they think, oh, well, James needs us just as much as we need him. No, mama. At this point, he's cultivated so many other relationships that you failed to do once again. Like, I just feel like this whole week was so evident where people lied, and for some strange reason, she just chose to stick with Chilltown.
How come George wasn't an option? Does anyone know?
So this week is interesting because Janelle's like, okay, George will just go up then. But Chilltown and James, I think, to an extent, and Danielle, they just wear her down and down. And then because George is obviously would go up as a pawn to send Erica home. But again, Boogie or someone gets Erica to go up and make a fake deal with Janelle for safety moving forward. They get Danielle to fake a fight with Erica. So Janelle thinks that they're on opposite sides or something. And then by the end, like Boogie and Will wait for Janelle to wake up in the HOH room of the day of the Vita ceremony to be like, hey, Marcellus. And at the end, she's just like, fine, I'll nominate Marcellus. And they say, and she says, as the pawn, right? And they're like, yeah, of course it's the pawn. So up Marcellus goes. And before she knows it, no, he's going.
I also think Janelle's the type of player where I don't think she thinks people would lie to her. I think she doesn't like think people are lying that much to her. Like, she's like, oh, he'll be the pawn? Well, he'll be the pawn, so it's okay. I don't think she is thinking someone's going to actively betray her like that.
Janelle reminds me of people in high school who would go, I can change him. I can change him. He won't do that to me. I can change them. Chilltown, literally, before we even got on this show, who was Dr. Will? A liar, evil. Like, this is his brand. This is not a surprise. He doesn't switch it up for the season. It's who he is. They have lied constantly every week, whether it's to you or to someone else. Why would you put an ally on the block as a pawn? It makes no sense. You are HOH. You make the decision at the end of the day. Why the hell would you put up Marcellus, who's going to feel some type of way because you're supposed to be allies with him? You promise him that you have him and that you're going to prioritize him before the 6. Like, to me, it just feels like unnecessary lying. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you be so... Oh, it's so dumb. Like, her and Erica do the same thing.
I'll defend Janelle, a little bit.
She cleaned it up at the end, though.
Because Marcellus was throwing Janelle's name left, right, and center under the bus. Where Marcellus, I don't know if Marcellus should have been doing that, especially when he had like clearer targets and Chilltown in mind. And Janelle did like try to do some damage repairing her relationship with Marcellus this week to an extent. However, I still agree. Like, this is ultimately the worst move. You're just giving it up to them, especially as Marcellus is kind of the only chip on the playing board that Will and Boogie don't control. Like, I feel like this just submits to them and allows them to run with the game in the jury phase, you know?
It's like the point where Janelle lost the game.
It makes me wonder, like, girl, was it really that was it worth it? Like, was it truly worth it? Like, I don't know. Like, I just think, again, it puts her and Marcellus at odds, even though they're already kind of at odds. But she should have done more work in her relationship with Marcellus instead of being so worried about Mr. Dr. Will, who's flirting with her every night. Like, he needs you more than you need him. Like, let's actually wake that up. So, like, I just feel like she just went about this week in a really bad way. Like she did more work against herself than she did for herself.
She just needs to put her foot down and put up George, I think. And just ignore
I agree.
the...
I feel like
Chicken
that's the
George
correct
hasn't
move.
done shit in the house. Why are we acting like he's a valuable player? I'm sorry. Can we be real for a moment? Chicken George
doesn't even campaign.
But he's not worth shit. I'm sorry. I know the comment last week was saying George is like a 7 something, whatever. I
saw that.
I don't see it personally, and I respect your opinion. I hear you and I see you, and your feelings are valid. But for me, he actually has no value in the game. So why are we protecting him? Why are we giving him more value? Put him on the block. If he goes, he goes. What does he really do for you? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's a testament to Dr. Will's game. The fact that he was able to convince Janelle to do something over Howie and James, who have known her for a year or two at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get cracking on then. Bad HO each week aside. George wins the next HOH. He nominates James and Erica with James as the target. James, however, does win veto. This causes James, Boogie, Erica, Danielle all to push George for Janelle to be nominated. However, George doesn't want to do this because he respects what a hard worker and what a hard player Janelle is. And so he deserves to stay.
He saw Mother and said, "No, I can't do it."
This makes no sense game-wise, but chicken gonna George. What I was gonna say, George later tells Janelle that James completely threw her under the bus, and this causes her to cry, basically cutting James off completely. Like, I know. Before they were like, okay, I don't trust you, but after hearing that he just blatantly dogged on her with the rest of the house, she says, this is it. This is her last chance. George, however, ends up nominating Howie, as he does not have the same respect for him and wants to appease. Janelle is unsuccessful in keeping Howie, and Howie is sent home. Janelle's probably only loyal soldier left, you know? And that's just karma from BB6 playing the way they played for the first 4 weeks. You know, you were comfortable when you were safe, and now when other people are in power, you haven't laid the groundwork. You haven't laid the seeds that would come to fruition and give you safety later in the game. You know,
and like we say she should, like, she nominated Chicken George last week and Chicken George wins, and maybe she goes up. But like Howie had a good relationship with George. Like Howie and Janelle should have had George like in their back pocket. They just don't. So it's like,
yeah, Jedi brother, but whatever. Go for
it. I was just gonna say, Janelle, Marcellus just went home. What the fuck do you think Howie's saying? Like, they lied. They showed you who they were. They showed you they were. Once again, they lied. And yet you stand there like boo-boo the fool because you continue to trust them. It's really embarrassing. It's humiliating. Like, no shade. Like, I think she's great and all. Like, we give her praise for the threat that she is, but like, let's be real for a moment. Let's put the mother status to the side for a moment. Is this not humiliating? Is this not a humiliation ritual? Because
it is.
Like, it's weird.
If Will and Janelle had gotten to the end, Allison would have been giving that same speech that she gave to Erica to Janelle. It would have been
exactly
rinse and repeat. Like, and I think the reason that Janelle doesn't get as much criticism as Erica does is because Janelle did make it to the final 2.
Correct.
Real.
Okay. So Boogie wins the next HOH, and the whole house is cheered because Janelle is the runner-up and she loses. This causes her to get very depressed, and she starts crying in the bug room. Will comes over and has a very long conversation with her to try and convince her to get her spirits back up and continue to play the game. She reveals in the DR, though, that this depression was a ploy in order to garner sympathy from the house. So, okay,
sure,
girl.
I didn't believe it.
That's Janelle me after I cried and the diary room asked me about it. I'm like, no, that was all a ploy. Everything about it.
You might in the the deep dive after the season. Yeah. Janelle gets very close with George this week, rekindling his respect for her that kept her safe the previous week. Okay. Janelle and Will also flirt, you know, more of the same stuff. This is when the August 22 conversation comes into place. So Will convinces Boogie to throw the veto to Janelle in an attempt to send James home. They clue her into this plan. She wins her third veto by wrestling James to the ground and is replaced by George. This is enough. Goodbye, James.
No, we have to discuss this. She should have been expelled. She committed an assault this week.
Grodner.
I've been hard.
Grodner.
Janelle, this is Allison. Come to the diary room.
Janelle. She really committed a song, got called back twice. That's insane.
I can respect vetoes where you're not winning purely because you were the best competitor, which he probably was, but like Will and Boogie helping her, I guess, does make it a little bit more bearable to me because there is a strategic component to this. And if Janelle were, it would be really interesting. I would love to see a universe where Janelle does sit on the block at one time just to see if she really does go home, because you would think she would. But with Will trying hard to keep her, would Will be able to convince Boogie to keep her? And would the votes be there? I just like to see, because I feel like it would really help me put Janelle's game in better perspective.
Yeah, because
she's never really tested because she wins all these comps.
That universe does not exist because she would have went home.
Yeah. I agree. I think I genuinely, when a threat like Janelle does not win and she is on the final block, you don't know if you will ever be in a position where this will happen again. I think she goes home.
Yeah, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, during like the Chicken George double, that's when like Boogie like locks in. He's like, "No, I gotta keep my pieces." I kind of feel like if Janelle's on the block against one of his like allies, I kind of feel like Boogie does the same. And he's like, "No, I gotta go behind Will and do what's best for me."
Especially because Boogie pushed so hard for her to go up that week. How he only went up because George refused as like a compromise. I don't know. I just wish it. Just for my brain, just to make the scoring easier,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Erica wins HOH. So wait, we there? Yeah. Yeah.
When Erica's on BB28 and we get a season of Peter like standing Erica live.
Yeah.
I write
So
Peter
Peter,
for the BB4 girls: June, Allison, Erica, 3 divas, the
And
Powerpuff
Dana.
Girls.
I think 2 of those are correct.
Michelle?
huh?
Oh, you don't like Allison?
No.
Oh, it's June.
Okay.
You forgot
Wow,
Michelle.
June's
That's a little
song.
weird.
No, I like Michelle. I
Team
like
Julie
like
Chen.
Allison. I don't like Erica.
What? Oh,
No.
Peter, is that
my
shocking?
goodness.
She's
I don't know what to say. I'm beyond words.
Okay, so Peter marches into the CBS lot and rigs this next HOH for Erica. Janelle is aware that she'll be nominated
story.
up against George. And so it goes through. Will, and by extension Boogie, do their best to keep her in the game this week regardless, because their plan is to evict Danielle this week, so they instruct Janelle to play nice with Erica all week and lie and say that she'll target Chiltar next week, and no one can beat Danielle in the jury vote. Janelle uses the veto, Danielle is the replacement, and Danielle goes home. But what's interesting here, as I learn reading further feeds, is that Janelle is somewhat realistic with this deal with Erica, but following with the double HOH, Janelle wins HOH. She nominates, obviously, Erica against George, with Erica being the target. However, Erica wins the veto. And Janelle wants Boogie to go here, but she just doesn't have the votes to do so. And when Erica comes for her in the next week saying, well, why can't we work together? Janelle is like, well, because you kept in Boogie. So, well, first of all, this doesn't make any sense because you just tried to get rid of her.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really be this accusatory towards her. I don't know. What do you guys think about these 2 rounds?
Yeah, I think she plays the weak Danielle goes as well as she can. It's kind of just like,
I agree.
Don't cause any more enemies and just like stay in the back and let Danielle go. Obviously, she wins veto, so she's allowed to stay in the back. But it's like just try to be as least chaotic as you can be and let the weak unfold. Because at the end of the day, the other players are doing their thing. And sometimes, as a good player, you gotta recognize when to like take a step back, like let stuff happen.
Yeah, and just with the way the comms played out, I feel like you said, Janelle's hands were tied. I feel like there was only so much she could do. Like, girl, you can't get Erica out, can't get Boogie out, can't get Will out.
I mean,
I don't understand how. I don't want to sound conservative, but if you and I and 2 other dudes are making out in the shower, we're constantly making out with these people in the bathtub, the hot tub, the jacuzzi. We're in the bathtub together. You would think we would have a better relationship than the relationship we do have. Like, genuinely, like that to me, like I don't be participating in no, maybe I'm conservative. Maybe I'm too conservative. But I would think that the person I'm doing that shit with, I'd be close with. Like, personally, I don't know.
How do you think Erica feels? She gave him that and more.
it's really astonishing to me that the relationship is so like weird beyond those moments when they're like making out with these men. Like it's really weird to me personally. And it's sad because I feel like they only, and we'll talk about this week later on, but I feel like they only get on each other's side because one of them is against the wall. And I just feel like we could have had some shit shake, because if they would have gotten rid of Mike this week, Chicken George isn't winning shit. Dr. George not winning shit. They could run it for real. Really, from that point on, if they just communicated. And that's why I'm flabbergasted, because why is it that y'all can make out and like be in these like intimate spaces with one another with some two dudes, but you can't have a conversation and try to lock in and get a win for this amount of money? Like, is that not the reason why y'all are here? Like, they're too boy centered, to be honest, and it's annoying.
Yeah, because if Boogie goes instead of George, like, she could just comp out and she wins.
That was her intention.
Yeah, that was her intention.
She tried. She wanted George to go.
But why aren't you having those conversations? I get it. It's a double, whatever. But it's like, why didn't you put the seeds? Erica's been in this house. Okay. You've been calling it. You guys have been doing these things together. Why is your relationship not to the level where it should be? Like, this could have been a very good moment. Imagine if we talked about the double where Mike Boogie goes home and it's not done because they don't do the work to really be in a relationship together, because they would rather be the third in Chilltown, which is so stupid, than actually lock in and play this game for themselves, aside from these boys.
And it just keeps linking back to Janelle just not being able to play with certain players. Like, you're just trying to build this relationship with Erica now purely out of comp convenience, and this is where the cards have lain. But you just don't have that rapport together because you've kind of written her off when you nominated her all the way back in week 4, thinking that wasn't going to ruin that kind of relationship, you know? I do want to say, I forgot to mention, Danielle does try to make a truce with Janelle this week because she realizes that Janelle isn't who she should be getting rid of at this point. And again, it's the same issue, I think. Like, Janelle probably should be taking this into account because, you know, Danielle is probably going to be a shield in front of her if she stays for like the first time since forever. But again, it's like the cards are already written by that point, and Danielle, you're going home.
Would Danielle be a shield though?
Because Danielle would be like more evidently coming for Chilltown than Janelle, so they prioritize getting Danielle out more. I think.
I feel like they would prioritize getting Janelle out if Janelle ended up a final nominee on the block against Danielle.
But potentially Janelle could still take them to the end. Like, this isn't a final 2; this is a truce, you know. Yeah, Danielle can beat Will, and Janelle can beat Will. So
I also think part of it, there's not much Janelle can do once Danielle's on the block, but
in a competition.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like once Danielle's on the block next to Chicken George, it's like, well, I know where I'm voting. Sorry, yeah, you're on the block next to Chicken George. So it's like, why would I get rid of Chicken George at this point?
Oh my God.
I never did.
Me mad at Chicken George again. Sorry.
I don't know why I've never thought about, like, why did Janelle and Erica just have that conversation before Final Four? Like,
that's what we're saying.
Yeah, it's like
they were like, beefing.
You were talking about it. I'm like, they could have had this any other week.
So like, my frustration with these players is that they can't look beyond themselves for a moment. They're so focused on, this is what I want. This is what I want right now. Instant gratification. This is a freaking long ass fucking game. Why are we thinking about the instant when you have so many days to go? Like, it's so weird. And you would think because this is their second time and a lot of these people made it far the first time that they would know better.
You would think. Well, it's only been a year, I suppose. But again, you could have watched so many seasons in between that point, you know. I don't know if, you know, this podcast was around back in the day for you to listen to and improve, but I'm sure there was something. Joker's updates, read them, you know. I don't know. But this is kind of Janelle's downfall these 2 weeks. So essentially, Boogie wins the next HOH. He nominates, obviously, Erica and Janelle, but it doesn't really matter because the power holder is with the veto. So Janelle wins this veto, her final veto win of the season, her final competition win of the season, RIP. And Erica comes to her and she says, look, Will and Boogie have been running this game. They have she lays it all out on the floor, as she should, because what else are you going to do? And Janelle's like, oh my God, you're right. I'm so embarrassed. I've been completely played. I've been caught with my hands down, egg on my face, all of the above. I'm going to evict Will. And she does. And let's just pause here. So do we applaud or do we say, okay, about time? How do we feel?
You have to do it because you can only beat Erica. It seems like her and Boogie is a close vote. So I feel like to get the guaranteed win, you have to take Erica to the end. So it's like, good job.
The thing is that like it's better that they realized it than not. But I'm just annoyed that it took them this fucking long. Like again, like maybe it's because they were doing extra like activities on the side, but it's like so weird to me that it took you this long to have a conversation about the game genuinely and like look at how things are being done. Like you guys are clearly mirrors of your reflections of each other. Like it just so happens that Janelle's winning competitions and Erica's more social, but in the grand scheme of things, you are the same because you have these two men who are saying you're chill town. Why is Janelle still here if y'all are the core? Why is Erica still here if y'all are the core? Why are y'all defending each other and doing all these extra things for both of you guys to still be here? Like, why did it take you that long? Like, there's not much to do in that house. So why did it take this long? It's strange to me.
I'm glad Janelle did the move in terms of like storyline purposes. Like I'm glad like this guy was playing her all season and she finally got like the last one over on him by evicting him. But in like the grand scheme of things, I'm like, damn, Dr. Will really could have been a 2-time winner. Like this really could have been like it could have been like the OG Sandra for like Big Brother. And I think that he played such a great game. And whenever I look back at this season, I don't remember Mike Boogie being the fucking winner. I remember Dr. Will, like in my mind. I think Big Brother All-Stars, I think Dr. Will, not Mike Boogie Malin, girl. So, and I'm really like sad that Janelle did this because of the winner that we ended up getting. But I'm glad she did it like for her, if that makes sense.
I think it is the right game move. But again, like I'm kind of with Josiane where it's like, it's too late because what happens in the final 3 is that Janelle's like, okay, I'm not fresh out of water because Erica is going to take me to final 2 and I'm going to take Erica to final 2. And I'm like, no, like Erica was never taking Janelle to final 2 at any point. Like when she's saying this to Janelle, she is lying because what happens is Janelle, because Boogie does this incredible Richard Hatch impression where he jumps off the final 3 HOH. Causing Janelle to momentarily let go and she loses the endurance competition. To be fair, I think she probably would have lost to Erica regardless because Erica's very good at endurance. But once Boogie wins part 2, Erica's like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it to you. Because she was just never taking Janelle to the end like she thought she was. Wow.
Sorry.
But it's like, it's like when I read this conversation, I was like, oh, Janelle. Because like, Mike was like, oh, that was a good performance you did, Erica. And just like, yeah, were you impressed? Ha ha ha. We're still on for final 2, right? And he says, yes. It's just like, damn, you just got by Erica. Like, I'm sorry to say this. Well, but it's true.
Yeah. I
what a way to go home.
Yeah. I think what like hurts the Will move so much more is that she goes home next. That's like the lore of Big Brother. If she does that Will move and then wins the season, it's like, oh, she ran it, she controlled it. But now it's like, Boogie and Erica are our final 2, and everyone's just like, okay, Boogie and Erica are our final 2. And yeah, and I wonder, like, they talked about how Erica just felt like she knew she was losing, and like she was okay by losing to Boogie. I wonder if she just thought Boogie pissed more people off. But like, either way, she plays it all wrong.
I think she was okay losing because she knows at this point everything Chilltown has done is like, wow, they've really played this game. They're probably going to win. But also, I think Erica's just like, doesn't have that relationship to Janelle where she'd want to lose to her. She'd much rather lose to Boogie because Boogie's been in her corner this entire season. And Janelle has kind of laid her off to the side and ignored her for most of the season until this like final 4 round where they're forced to come together and face an agreement, you know?
Nah, I think Erica was Delulu. I think she thought she was going to win. I mean, she literally told Boogie, have fun losing to your girlfriend. Like she thought like she was the main girl and she was going to be the winner. Yes.
Yeah, she thought she was going to win.
I remember after when she evicts Danielle, isn't she talking like how she's gonna beat everyone at the end? Like I think she
thought she was gonna win.
She like thinks she's gonna win. I think
she should have.
It's probably
hello.
It's
no.
Is it Coke
over
most
Boogie?
likely?
Wait, Peter, do you? In fact, if you're not on the next one, which we'll see, but like, would you have voted for Erica over Boogie to win the season?
Nah, I'm playing. I would have voted for Boogie, but you know,
The mask has slipped.
like
Erica Stan mask.
Boogie. But if I was on that jury and I had to pick, I would have been like Erica. Vote right.
Buy yourself some dignity.
But yeah, just to end this off, there we go. This is the final three, whatever. Again,
You know,
Boogie was always going to evict Janelle.
can I be real for a moment? I know this is not about Erica, but it's about it. Like it has ties to Janelle. I think it would have been more sickening, personally. She was going to lose anyways. I think it would have been more satisfying for her to argue that she clocked Chilltown's tea, went to Janelle, and decided, I'm not going to be played by a man. I know their tea, and argue against Janelle than Boogie. Like, genuinely, I feel like that would have done more, like, it would have looked better for her in the eyes of the jury and everyone else watching. Maybe it's the feminist in me. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I think to me that aligns so much better with her story, and it makes her look the best. And also, I feel like you could argue that you're the reason Chilltown is out. Like, is that not sickening? Is that not the resume? We've been talking about them all season long. And I'm the one who actually did it. I'm the one who did that. And like, Danielle can't get angry because then she can say, well, Danielle, you were working with them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Like, there could have been
she
something
takes
to
out
chew on a little bit more.
But she thought her and Mike Boogie were gonna be the it couple. Like, imagine if they got to the end and they were like the showmans that made it all the way to the end, and they would have been like the big brother, like Brencho. Like,
why weren't
imagine
they
that.
on 13? Why weren't they?
Could you imagine?
That's what Erica thought was gonna happen in her.
No,
head.
that is what she thought.
Yeah, I think. But like, there is an argument for her to win next to Janelle. I just don't think she can win. I think that they still vote Janelle, but Janelle had a bad enough social game with certain people where I guess there's a way.
Could Erica be anybody? Even George?
George made
less
if she didn't make the Danielle move.
You
know, I think Erica could have beaten Howie, and I think she could have beaten George if she didn't make the Danielle move. Other than that, she loses to everyone, I think.
Dang.
I think if she would have gotten rid of Boogie, I think there could have been space for her to maybe get Danielle's vote back. Genuinely. But it's like you did it for a man. That's the we'll talk about her game later. Whatever.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Let's give our scores quickly just because Drake, I'm paranoid about you having to
New Zealand.
Oh, we gotta wrap it up.
Oh, we still got about 15 minutes.
We'll give our general thoughts at the end, but let's just get to the scores first. And so, Peter, do you want to start us off for your score for Dr. Will?
Dr. Will. Okay, is this overall or just as Big Brother 7?
This is just Big Brother 7.
Okay, I'm gonna start off really high. I think I'm gonna give Dr. Will the 8.
An 8. Okay, sweet. Do you want to say why, or just
originally I used to think Dr. Will would be more of like a 10 player, but I think looking back and doing this rewatch has kind of made me reevaluate and realize that Will kind of doesn't always take the game seriously, and because of that, he puts himself in positions that he doesn't always need to be in, where he could potentially be going home, and Mike Boogie has to clean him after his mistakes. So I feel like it's not as much of a perfect clean cut game. Like, I look at Dan Giesling and I would give him like the 10. And so I would look at Will and I would say it would be an 8. This is like a really good, great game.
All right. I see that. Josiane, you're up.
I'm still trying to think about my score. Can you come back to me?
All right. No problem. Drake, do you want to go?
I'm between an 8.5 and a 9 because like Peter said, there's just moments where he isn't taking anything serious. He is kind of just like dicking around. He's like just kind of here being an asshole to people because he thinks it's funny. But then he has these moments where he really locks in, and he has some like the jury phase up until he gets evicted is very impressive. And even say if Mike Boogie doesn't win that final for HOH, I think Boogie goes over him. It's just the fact that he's the one who can't win comps, and Chilltown is the reason he goes. I think I'm gonna settle on the 9. I just feel like a 9 makes sense. This has an argument for one of the best non-winning games in Big Brother history.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to go next?
I mean, I have my score, but it's up to you.
I'll let you finish up with Will. I think for me, I'm trying to think because this is one of the best games of all time if we look at the history of the show, especially according to public belief and whatever. And going into the rewind, especially reading the feeds, it is really interesting to see how a player of Will's caliber plays. I think he's extremely intelligent. And again, it's like I don't know how to think of the playfulness because is it like this is necessary for someone who comes in with such a large target, who's won the game, no one else has won before, who everyone knows is a threat? Or is it sloppiness? I don't know. And because it works out for him again and again and again, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Again, there are things like being a pawn I hate. There are things like, again, trusting Janelle a little too much, which I have to dock points for. But then there are also incredible moves like getting Janelle to nominate Marcellus or forming the Legion of Doom on the week where you've basically got the house pissed off at Janelle so you can pick up the pieces and run with it. And if I'm thinking about the grand scheme of things, and as I go to rate more players, this score might change. But I think I'm going to agree with Drake in the 9, just because I don't think we ever, to get a game this good in this season, I think is fairly rare. I can't go above a 9 though, because I feel like to go above a 9, you need to have won.
For me, that's how I feel.
Yeah, my rating is not a 9. I can tell you that. My gripes with him is the fact that I think at the end game, the reason why he goes out is really his fault. To be honest, I feel like he could have put in more work for that. I think him not being invested that much in the beginning is kind of irritating because I feel like the game starts from the moment you walk in. I also think volunteering, putting yourself up, being kind of messy with the way you move around with things and being a tiny bit sloppy is hard for me to give him a 9 because 10 is perfect game. 9 is just slightly, and I feel like he did a little too much to be in a 9. So for me, he's also going to get an 8. I would have given him an 8.5, but my results will give him an 8.5 in general. So also some math.
I ain't even mad at the 9, to be honest.
Sweet. Okay. Peter, do you want to start us off with Janelle?
It's not going to be a 9, I'll tell you that.
What?
A 10?
No. Maybe for Erica. Child.
Oh, wow.
We messed up by leaving you off the Erica one. We got to make some adjustments.
Hey, if there's a spot open, Peter, I'll text you.
I think I would give Janelle the 3.
A 3? Okay.
Wow!
That is quite harsh.
Really?
3 is crazy.
Did you see her this season?
Hey, live your truth. Live your truth.
We're not talking about Erica yet.
She was one HOH away from taking Erica and winning the game.
I mean, I stand by it.
Okay, if you stand by it, give us your reasoning.
I just don't think Janelle's a good player. Genuinely. Oh. I mean, I remember Janelle for all of her iconicness of this is not that crazy of a take. I remember Janelle being iconic for all of her comp wins and all that sort of stuff. But I think that whenever she is in positions of power, she doesn't know what to do with it. She's taking out, other people in the house who aren't going to be coming after her. And I think that she let Will play her all fucking season. And I think that she, didn't play a great game anytime she's played. And I don't have respect for her game this season. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Josiane, do you want to comment on that?
Hey, that's your truth, and I'm gonna let you live it. Holly. All right. Do I think she deserves a 3? No. My favorite players are the social threats, the people who navigate the game socially, and Janelle is clearly not that. And I've been criticizing her game. However, this is a time where I'm going to uplift her. I think she had one of the biggest targets this entire season. Amongst the Sovereign for whatever, season 6, whatever, she was the one that people were going to go after if they had the chance to. And the fact that she made it to final 3 and was one competition away because she got shocked or didn't beat Boogie, I feel like if she wins the part 3 HOH, she wins the whole game. Because she's not picking Boogie. So
right, she'll take Erica.
In that world, her and Erica, and let's be honest, every time we've seen the questions, Erica sucks. She doesn't know her days. She doesn't know shit. So I think she wins. She takes Erica. She's the one who gets to then claim, I got rid of Chilltown, Like it's actually sickening. Like it's a sickening moment. But so I have to give her. Do I give her less than Will is the question. I think I'm gonna give her a 7.5.
This is crazy.
I think a 7.5 is correct.
For Janelle Pierzina, a 7.5.
Yeah, for this season, yeah.
Okay. Drake, what about
I
you?
change it. I'm always open to hearing what other people say. But
give us your score, and then Drake, you can hop out whenever you need to get to your.
I still I'm good. What time is it right now? Yo, I just mean easy. Now he can wait a couple minutes. So I'm thinking I'm gonna give Janelle the 5. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's like right in the middle between Josiane and Peter. I think there's moments where like she needed the comp wins.
Play in the middle.
But I'd be playing in the middle sometimes. But I think
we know.
What do you mean we know? What is that? It was crazy.
No, what on the clock tower stuff. Anyways.
Okay. I play you one time.
We need to start streaming those.
I would have been a villain, but that's not important. So I think Janelle having people throw her the vetoes and her relationship with Will specifically, like Will is the main center of the house. Like he's the one running the game alongside Mike Boogie. And I think that relationship does benefit her the most. It benefits her more than it benefits Will. And her having the knowledge, like even though she doesn't get Will out until Final Four, I think her knowing that we need to get Boogie out at some point and Will at some point, like she knew the optimal path for herself. She just couldn't enact that optimal path, and that's why I think a 5 is fair. Like if she was able to enact these things, or at least attempt to enact like the Boogie blindside over George, I think I could go higher. But I think for her game on Big Brother 7, I think I'm gonna go for 5 because she does have a winning opportunity. Like she is one competition away from being a Big Brother winner.
Yeah, my score is definitely factored heavily into that. That being one competition away from winning the game. I think also when you win as consistently as Janelle, like it does just have to behoove you as a player because you can just win comps and that will always get you safety and that will always get you further. I think, again, like Josiane said, she entered the game with a huge threat on her back where she was on the offset and she did what she had to do to get by week after week after week. Again, the biggest knock against her is just socially. She just can't talk to certain people and I don't know if it's a refusal and I don't know if it's good read. Like when she needs Erica in the end, she doesn't get her. Or like when she needs Will and Boogie to come in through for her and not evict Marcellus and send him Erica, they don't because she truly doesn't have that much influence on them. But again, they do keep her in the game. And I'm thinking like if I gave Danielle a 6.5, I believe, I don't think Janelle is too far from that, especially because Chilltown viewed them as kind of similar positions in the game. But for Danielle, who just showed a little bit more impressiveness in her game than Janelle, who was more straightforward, I think I'm going to dock her down to like a 5. One of the things about Janelle that I really do admire in her game is the fact that like if a player screws her over, she's logical enough to see past the bigger picture and not resent them forever through the game. Like she does that with Marcellus, giving them a second chance, and James, which I do appreciate. But again, having these players flip against her before in the first place is also something to knock against her. So I think that's where I land overall.
I did the math. I wanted to dock her 3.5, so I did that wrong. So it would be 6.5, not 7.5.
So you want to lower her to 6.5?
Yeah, lower it even more.
Well, I was trying to dock her
3 is a little crazy,
but I just didn't. I did the math a little too quickly. But to your point, I'm also thinking about it. She was never a final nominee until like the end.
Yeah.
Sorry. Of the final 3 HOH. So she clearly has the comp thing. And I think she's wise enough to be to position herself better in Chilltown's eyes and within the season 6 alliance, which was such a big target as well.
Yeah.
And her ops like can never get her out. So I despite her not having social game, I do still think that she does certain things well as well that we need to give her credit on.
Yeah, I do think if she had survived a vote like at the end of the week, I think I would have been higher on her. I think because that way I could prove that okay, the Chilltown relationship actually did save your game other than the comps.
It would just help to put it in perspective because I don't know. Like it
but
would go down.
We know that she hasn't been in that position though. So should we not?
Yeah,
if she sits there and she says, "Well, I was never a final nominee because I did," like that, you're gonna look at her and go, "You know what? Hell yeah, hell yeah,
yeah,
hell yeah."
Like also, I'll say I have my player comparison. This is hard. The player, because I'm trying to do modern, so 23 and up. Janelle was low key kind of easy. They are different, like people and like personality, but it's like she's kind of similar to Mackenzie from 26, Big MJ, where I feel like they're only aligned with certain people. There's only certain people they can talk to. They're not going to work with the whole house. They're pretty loyal to like their specific people, and they need those comps. Mackenzie also never sat on the block on eviction night. So
you know what? And what did MJ do? Get Leah out of the house. What did Janelle do? Get Marcel out of the house.
Like
I think clock it.
I just because they're different types of people you want to think about it, but the way they played the game is very similar. Because I remember there's weeks where like people like Quinn and Joseph, they want to pick up Mackenzie, but Mackenzie don't fuck with them, so she's not gonna let them be picked up. But the moment Chelsea got talking to her, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ride with Chelsea till the end." So
that's a very good comparison.
And then with Will, the only like real dominant player we've had in the new era is Chelsea. So I guess I gotta go. This is if Mackenzie did cut to Chelsea, because it's like I just think they're so active and like the way Will manipulates and he strategizes with people. There isn't many people like that because you kind of can't be this cocky, arrogant personality and work anymore. This doesn't really happen. So it is hard. Like I don't know. Will's the hardest comparison I think so far because he's a very good player, but he's a unique player as well.
I would probably argue more Ashley than Chelsea in the way that they play.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I get that one.
I was thinking more Ashley because
Ashley wins far less.
Ashley doesn't win nothing either. They're in an alliance, but she has the potential. I think it might be Ashley.
Ashley to Dr. Will?
Especially because they use the same sort of social game where it's like not to be likable, but sociable in a way where you wouldn't target them. Like Ashley's leaves enough annoyance where people don't see her as a threat because people won't want to take her allegedly, and Will just says he doesn't want to be here all the time and annoys people, so they don't want to take him out because they can always take him out later, you know.
I do think Ashley is a really good comparison. I thought about it too, but I think the more we dive into it, I think because I don't put Ashley, like, I do value Ashley as a good player, but I think I don't put her in like the Dr. Will category. It's hard for me to view her like that, but their games are very similar.
So. Especially BB2. I don't think she is, but positioning wise, I think they're similar.
Yeah, different personalities. So
yeah.
But this is Will and Janelle. We're wrapping them up. Two legendary players
from the season. So, I was looking for that for a good second.
But yeah, this is like when people think of BB7, you think of Will and Janelle normally, and this is their games in the season. Has it changed? Their legacies still icons?
Still icons.
I think
so. This is where they became legends. IMO.
I think it depends on how you view them. Like if you view Janelle as a comp beast icon, that doesn't change watching this. But if you think she's a great player, then probably does change things for you.
Again, it'll be interesting to see, because when you start on BB7, it's a weird place to start because it's like, are they icons or are you just looking at it too closely? I just need to compare with other people to see if they truly stand the test of time. But
I think your second season says a lot about your legendary status. Like,
yeah, I agree. And because I'm reviewing this for like the first time I'm reviewing a season, maybe that does offset things a little bit.
I also think with Janelle specifically, it's like the back to back of it all. But it's like you got third place back to back. It's like where like Paul, Paul's like you got second place back to back. Like something about doing it right after the season, it like kind of boosted up your legacy. It's like, oh,
you can't say it's just a coincidence anymore.
Any winner who can make top like 4 twice is just like automatically, I think, a good player. I think very few have done it. Like Will, Dan, Nicole, Jordan Lloyd.
Okay, well, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Cody then, because.
I think Cody's great.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I'll a good winner.
Should we save it for BB22 rewind?
We'll save it for
we'll be there sooner than you guys think. Okay, 22 rewind.
It's coming. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Remember to join the Discord, guys. If you're watching, we're always chatting it up in there. If you feel a certain type of way about Will or Janelle's game, please let us know there or comment down below or what have you. Also, make sure to give your $3 a piece to Farah and Lee so you can join the Patreon. You're going to get reality segments on gossip. You get the Kingdom's Choice. You can suggest any topic of your choice for them to talk about, and a whole bunch of Love Island content coming soon. And hey, maybe some Big Brother content now that we're starting to get into season. We don't have the schedule for July yet. Hopefully it will be out soon, but a lot of Big Brother, let's say. But yeah. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap up?
by the time this releases, Traders New Zealand podcast will be done because I'm about to film that. But go watch the whole season and watch the pod. Because shout out to Traders New Zealand.
Was it a good season?
Yeah, I like it. Apparently, the
okay. The one season I watched was not giving. I'll be honest.
Well,
it's a new host.
I do like the new host. I like season 3. I think season 2 is kind of like.
I watched season 1. Season 1 was kind of floppy for me personally.
I personally don't remember season 1 that much, so maybe I gotta think about it. Yeah.
But anything I have to say, you guys, genuinely, we kiki on Discord. If y'all are not in part of the conversation, like, you're missing out on a whole lot. Like, it gets down on there. We even update the timeline on information and news. Like, so like you're getting the tea genuinely if you're on the Discord. Yes. But yeah, keep an eye out.
Go to the Discord's always fun. Y'all gotta stop taking me serious in there. When I go in there spreading, I heard rumors that Bonu's on Big Brother. I'm not being serious. Don't take that seriously, guys.
I thought I was being serious when I said that Dr. Holly was in there.
I love her. Live it on the dance floor, Holly. All right, that's it for me.
But yeah, thank you guys all so much for potting with me. Thanks for keeping it real with the kingdom. We out.
Bye.